And Joe's right on cue.
Hello, my name is Joe Trier, and welcome back to Rime of the Frost Maiden. Last session, our brave adventurers broke into the maximum security prison of Revel's End in search of Grigor Firebrand, who, if their sources were correct, owned an artifact called the Professor's Orb, which could possibly help our adventurers end the Frost Maiden's curse over Icewind Dale. After a deadly battle with anti-magic and powerful undead monstrosities, including living animated skin, our heroes escaped the death hole that the prison had become. And although they failed to find Grigor, they did locate the Professor Orb. We rejoin them 2 days later. Our camera zooms in on three figures marching through the tundra towards the walled city of Bryn Shander. Snow billows around them as they stagger on through the gloom and ever-present knee-deep snow. So let us introduce our characters. Welcome back to the show, Eoghan. How are you doing, and who are you playing tonight?
I've been doing better. I'm a 6-year-old camera. My whole computer kind of kicked up this week, so not the best week for me. And Ireland lost in the rugby. Other than that, I'm all good. I'm playing Xalfiz today, a level 8 artificer who is back fully healed and no longer unconscious or nearly dead after last episode.
Perfect. Yeah, we've had a long rest. You're all better now.
There we go. Yeah, fighting fit and ready to go home and rest.
And I love how you've cosplayed as a halfling tonight. Thank you for
You can't take my joke from free stream against me. I am giving off Samwise energy, I do feel, yeah.
Next up, Niall.
I can't carry the ring, but I can carry you.
Share the load.
This is my Valentine's gift to Breed. Yeah,
I'm Niall, and I'm playing Gann. I'm a Firbolg druid. You can always see the picture up here. I always get my directions right whenever I'm on camera too. And yeah, I'm doing all right.
This is a main talent in life.
Yeah.
Okay, and our last regular player. Welcome back to the show, Kuran. It's great to see you. Who are you playing tonight?
Thank you. I am playing Graham, the human rogue. He's doing fine. He didn't get injured at all. In fact, I don't think I saw any combat last game, right? That's fine. I don't have to rest over it. Amy, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, well, as the three of you march on through the ever-present gloom, you become mortally aware that the cold is way more intense than it has been in the past. Icewind Dale is an unpleasant, cold place which only the brave would dare to journey to, but the past 2.5, almost 3 years under the Rime of the Frost Maiden has made it almost unlivable. And as you kind of squint through the falling snow, gazing out at the distant city, you do wonder how long you and the others are going to survive this endless darkness. You're all lost in your own thoughts as you march on, the snow crunching underfoot, when a figure appears. You immediately go to weapons, preparing to battle, but you immediately realize this figure is a familiar person to you. This is Kestra, who joined you on, at least for Graham, the very first adventure in Icewind Dale. So welcome back to the show, Virginia. It's a huge pleasure to have you on. For people who haven't met you before, could you introduce yourself, but also your character, Kestra?
Yeah, hey, I'm Virginia. Thank you for having me back.
Very
I was really
welcome.
happy to be on the first episode of this, and I'm happy to get to bring Kestra back for all of the Icewind Dale shenanigans. I stream and make TTRPGs for a living. That's what I do. So Kestra is this bright red tiefling in her 30s, and she is a bounty hunter, and she's very much a kind of mum character. Yeah.
So she appears in front of you. I would say the time is roughly 5 p.m, although it's very difficult to tell. And the three of you at least have been out in the wilderness for, 2 days since you left Revel's End.
All right. Good time to cough.
We're pros, it's fine.
That's you, Kestra.
She's got like a scarf up over the front of her face, and she kind of pulls it down, and it loosens all this kind of snow and ice that's kind of built up on this heavy hood she's wearing. And she's a bit out of breath. And she kind of puts her hands on the top of her legs, kind of trying to warm herself up. Oh, good. I caught you before you got too much further.
Got too much further? What's wrong?
You're heading towards. She points over her shoulder in the direction of the kind of town that you're going to.
Yeah, we have we have someone we need to meet at Bryn Shander.
Not anymore. You don't.
What happened?
I was hired to come and find you. Harple's house, it's gone, burned to the ground. That place, it's full of people waiting for you, and not the friendly kind.
Who are they?
Cultists. That's all I got told.
Oh no. Did Harpel get out?
I have no idea.
Hmm.
I got told what I got told. I got paid to come and find you, to come and let you know. I'm just glad that I caught you before you got much further on.
Who hired you to find us?
Let's just say a mutual friend. I think we're on the same side here.
Hmm. Well,
Massively narrows it down, to be fair.
what do we want to do with this then? Can I take out the professor orb?
So this is a glowing orb, probably the size of a grapefruit, maybe slightly larger, seemingly made of glass, although inside it seems to contain a vortex. Every time you look at it, it's slightly different, but it's an intense burning fire of some sort.
How do you use that?
This is what Valen sent us to the prison to find, along with Grigor Firebrand, but we didn't get him. We got this though, and it's what Valen was wanted.
She said it was the answer to finding the Ice Maiden, right?
To defeating and breaking her curse, I believe.
Maybe we should use it?
Yeah, can I study it and can I do an Arcana roll and see if I can glean anything from it? Understand how it works?
Could you
Yeah, please. Yeah, give me an Arcana roll. And I think while you're doing that, could Graham, you're just a little aside, sort of staring out over the tundra. Could you give me a perception roll?
Mm-hmm. My perception.
I'll let you roll first, Graham.
There's no 7. I see nothing. I'll get.
You must have a plus to perception, surely.
Graham was like, it's snowing.
Did you know that it's snowing?
I'll roll for that Arcana now.
Okay.
13. 10 plus 3.
So with a 13, you're not going to be able to glean a great deal other than the fact this is a powerful artifact. To know more, you're going to have to attune with it, which is going to take an hour of concentration.
Guys, I can't... There's not much I know about this, but maybe if I attune with it, I'll be able to understand it better. Can we... Kestra, did anyone follow you? Is anyone out here trying to hunt us? Do we have time for me to attune with this?
Fine, I haven't seen anybody for a while.
Okay.
Is there any shelter nearby?
I mean, it's a tundra. You're not near any of the woods, but you could probably find maybe a snowbank. You could maybe tunnel in a bit so to create something, at least a shelter from the wind. Yeah. Or if you want to make something more permanent, you'd all be carrying tents. So you could set up an actual shelter.
We can set up a tent and then just, light a fire. Use snow.
I can cast bonfire.
Yeah.
So can I have all the bonfires.
I have a couple of bonfires actually. Yeah, one on either side. No.
So, yeah, I guess we're going to make camp here then, and because it makes sense for Gann to do it, because he probably knows the Rime the most, being you're local, right?
Yeah, I am.
So a quick question: are you going to make this sort of camp, or at least sort of temporary camp, in sight of the city, or are you going to try and hide it away a little bit?
The city where all the people want to find us.
Well, yeah, it seemed like a pertinent question.
We'll maybe get off the beaten track and hide, get out of sight somewhere.
Would be...
Kestra knows somewhere that she's passed through, because she's been coming kind of from around that direction, so she might have scouted something out.
I think it's almost certain that you'll know where maybe a sheltered dell, and if you want to make it out of sight of the city. You might have to journey a little bit further because obviously you wouldn't be camping this close to the city. You know, if you're this close, you'd want to be in civilization, but you probably know somewhere. And if you're willing to trek for a bit, and actually, Gann, you'll realize that you can start attuning while on the while looking around and while marching. So that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so it probably takes around about half an hour to find or get to this shelter, and while the others finish making camp, you realize, Gann, that you're about to finish attuning to this item. Are people going to be nearby, or are you kind of off doing other things, scouting for food or exploring what people do?
It's going to explode, isn't it, Joe? Are people nearby?
I'll go what my initial answer would have been. I'm going to be nearby, probably tinkering with like Lady Penguin, making sure that everything's like, you know, is greased and working correctly and like not rusting or seizing up or anything in the cold.
I think I'll probably be nearby, catching up with everybody.
Yeah. I'll be trying to scout a little bit, maybe take a look around, see what I see with my 7. Yeah.
Okay, so the final few seconds of the attunement, something strange starts happening. The ball, the orb, begins to grow hotter and hotter to the point of view it's actually painful. You try and drop it, and you realize that something has not just stuck it to your hand, but your body is paralyzed and you're unable to move or even speak. Anyone nearby will sort of notice Gann suddenly tense. And then you hear a voice, a whiny, angry, and if maybe triumphant voice, and it's a female voice, and it says, "You fell for my trap, and if all went to plan, you'll never hear this. You'll be a permanent prisoner at Revel's End, Grigor. You'll never see me again. If you are hearing this, know now that I have the real Professor's Orb, and I am on my way now to Auriel's Island to steal the Codicil of White for myself. Soon the Netherest City will be open to me, and me alone." And then the ball explodes. Can I have dexterity saving throws from everyone apart from Gann, who's going to take full damage?
Of course.
You're a piece of shit, Joe.
So what was the thing she said? That your voice wasn't fantastic. What was that of white you said, Joe? What was it called?
Well, let's do the saves first, and then I'll review any questions.
Okay.
When you're like a whiny voice comes in, I just had, "Where are you?"
Okay, Gann, you take 26 damage from the fireball.
It's a dex save, wants this.
Yes, please, yeah. Virginia, you got 21. That's an absolute pass. You just take half damage, which is 10.
I got a 21.
13 fire damage, yeah.
I think I'm resistant to fire damage. So I'm a tiefling.
26 damage, is it, Joe? Yeah, okay.
And so, Graham, with your 6, you fail, so you'll take full damage, which is 26.
Ouch. Sucks.
So,
no, but you've got evasion, so you just take half damage.
Yeah.
It was 10, so that makes it 5 with my resistance to fire, right?
Sorry, it was 13. That was my bad.
I love the idea of evading fire or like an explosion. It's like
I know, it's like, what?
yeah.
You've been engulfed in flame. Yeah, but I moved out the way. No.
So, Joe, was this 13 was half damage, was it?
Yeah, so 13 is half damage. So you and Graham take 13. Virginia or Kestra, you take 8 if you could take off 5, and Gann, you take the full 26. As the kind of steaming inferno dissipates, you notice all around you the snow is completely melted, but begins to freeze immediately, leaving a slick, icy crust. Gann, you are just this sort of steaming cartoon character, and in your hand is the smashed remains of the orb.
He could only hear what was said, right?
No, everyone
everyone
nearby would have heard it, although the wind may have whipped away certain words.
Did any of us recognize the voice?
No, this isn't anyone that's been met before, but there was someone mentioned in the last episode. I don't know if anyone picked up. There was another character that
Grigor Firebrand, yeah?
Oh. Not Shera, not
I actually have notes
No.
on my broken.
No, she was the captain
warden.
guard.
Yeah. I wonder if Elijah's okay.
So it's not Grigor you're talking about someone else on top of that, Joe.
So this absolutely, well, I mean, it could have been Grigor's voice. Although Grigor's always been described as
sorry.
male, whereas this
I
is
thought you
definitely
meant
a
she
female voice.
mentioned someone. Sorry.
No.
What was the
No.
word she said? The white something? I couldn't.
Yeah, the color of code white.
The codical of white.
Codical.
Codical.
All three characters are going codical. I don't know what
Codical.
If anyone likes to give me a religion check, this might be something you've come across, or you can give me a history check as well.
I'll definitely give it a religion.
History it will be.
What is my religion on? Wow, I got a +2 on religion.
I got +3.
I have a +8 in history, so I got this.
And I rolled a 4. I'm having really bad rolls.
Jesus Christ. I rolled a 9 +3.
I'll give it a go with religion.
I got a 2 + 8.
Wow.
It's like
Oh, I love D&D so much.
we're like we're all just standing there like
Points
What
to history
is
because I thought
this?
it would work in this.
So, Kestra, what did you get?
I went to church once.
An 8. Gone with your 13. You have heard of this before, but you can't place where. You think it's something to do with the followers of the Frost Maiden, because obviously your old master became one of her followers. Believe she was a druid, but then she took over and followed Oriel, and you remember something to do with that. And for some reason, you also think back to again the first episode when you were in the sort of tiny town to the south of 10 Towns, where you found a whole load of strange markings on the wall. And you think there was something to do with that and a codical, but you can't place it with your current roles, I'm afraid.
What was the first time? Dugan's Hole, right? Was that the first
Dugan's
time?
Hole, yeah. Which is now a steaming, massive,
Hole.
burnt town. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I have a recollection of the codical, but I would have seen it. The man we chased down, Kestra, when you helped us in Dugan's Hole, he'd wrote about it in scratchings on the walls, but we can't go there. The town was burnt to the ground. What should we do? By all means, I think that the next step probably would have been for us to go to find this person who's taken the actual Professor Orb, but
What about Valen? Do we know where Valen is? Is she captured?
What was the island again?
The Isle of the Frost Maiden. That's like the gist of it.
What's that?
It's not very helpful. In the middle of the sea of moving
Do we
ice.
know where that is at all? We have no idea. It's
Rumors tell that it floats around the sea of moving ice, powered by the sheer will of the goddess herself, which makes it almost impossible to find.
and the magic to defeat her is hidden on this island. Cool.
Or we just bully her and break her will by the sounds of it, then the island stops and she's done.
Yeah.
your island's stupid.
Kestra, you said Valen isn't in Bryn Shander anymore. Has she been captured? She's dead?
I'm not sure. I spoke to her very briefly, filled me in on what was going on, but it's not her that sent me to come and warn you. One of her men, one of her allies, told me about the house being burnt, to come and find you, that you were supposed to be meeting her, and to warn you about what was waiting.
What? The Red Wizards? The Crimson Sorcerer? What are they called again?
I just
Those
got
guys.
told
Arcane
this.
Brotherhood. Oh, we don't know about the other guys. I can scout it out and see if I can find anything around there, ideally without being spotted, because I can turn into a bird or something and fly over there. But we've got to be ready. While I do this, if I don't find anything, you guys need to come up with a plan for us for what we need to do after this. What does that sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know what we got, but like everybody wants to
You
kill
know.
us, and nobody we know is alive. I mean,
Yeah.
how far are we from the town? Not that far, are we? Like,
half a mile or so. is it?
Yeah, probably like a mile or two. Like you have marched about half an hour to get to where you are now. So
Yeah, can I wild shape into like a falcon or something like that? Not a giant one, just a regular sized falcon, and scout over the town.
Yeah, okay, so it'll
Just show
probably
it off. Not at a giant one.
yeah.
I just want to be a regular size falcon. You're like,
Yeah, I don't want to be a giant one.
I can be a big falcon, but not today.
So you take to the wind and fly off into the inky blackness of the early evening of Icewind Dale. You dart through the frozen air over the walls of Bryn Shander, which you noticed are not manned. You normally expect to see multiple guards on the walls protect the townsfolk from the dangers of the outside, but you don't. Oh no, you do. You see one lowly guard just by a small fire. You fly over the buildings, which seem deserted and quiet. The occasional person hurrying through the snow, but the lack of food and the lack of support that the town has had, especially with the influx of refugees, has really made it a terrible place to live. But you do locate the hidden building where Valen Harpel had her residence, or at least what was left of it. The whole area has been burnt to the ground, not just her building, but the 4 buildings around it. And the sheer intensity of what must have destroyed it makes you think of something non-natural. Frozen wood does not burn easily, and there is nothing left other than a burnt crater.
All right. Flying around kind of this area, do I see anyone that I might recognize? Like, do I see the Elijah, the Kobold? Do I see anyone kind of hiding in the shadows, looking out, watching the building?
Give me a perception check.
Okay, I've got advantage on perception checks when I'm a bird. So, I will roll 2d20, and that's bird, it's +2.
when you're a normal sized bird, right?
Yes, within a normal sized bird. I got a 13 +2 with 15.
So you kind of look down and you try and spy anyone familiar, or at least sign of the cultists that Kestra had mentioned. But there's no one. I mean, there's literally no one. This area is completely deserted. There's no one hurrying through. There's no sign of movement. There's no sign of residents in the surviving buildings. There's certainly no sign of a trap waiting to be sprung.
All right. I guess I'll fly back. No, can I like dive a bit? Can I land on like maybe part of the? No, I don't want to do that. That's stupid. I'll fly back to where the guys are, to where everyone else is. Yeah, I land, turn back into Gann. I couldn't see anything there. There was no signs of anyone that we know, and the whatever happened there was not just a normal fire or explosion. Someone, yeah. Everything Kestra said matches up. I didn't see anyone waiting to spring a trap, but obviously these people have magical means, so they could very well be hiding from plain sight.
I see. While you were gone, Graham came up with a very good idea of what we should do next.
Xalfiz is correct. I think we should go to the ice
well done.
place and then stand on the ice and then let it float around and then move on to the next bit of ice. And then hopefully one of those bits of ice is the magical one. No.
Look, none of us recognize the voice in the orb, but she has gone to the Isle. So maybe if we do go to the coast, the edge to see a floating ice, maybe we will find something or someone.
What's the nearest town to the coast?
Lonelywood or Bremen.
It would be Bremen, but it's still 2-3 days travel from Bremen to the coast. There are a couple of options. So Gann, ever since you were brought back to life by a mysterious frozen owlbear or icy owlbear, you've had a whisper in the back of your mind, a temptation, a calling to join the Frost Maiden. At least that's what you believe it is. She wants you to renounce your druidic livelihood and become one of hers, to embrace her tenets. The other option is there is a druid that you know of who does live on the coast, a woman called Anga, who, A-N-G-A, who is is known to guide people along the coast. So if anyone may know a way to the Frost Maiden's Isle, possibly she would. But you've not seen her in many years, and she's not greatly fond of guests.
I know someone who might be able to help us on the coast. Kind of a hermit, doesn't like to interact with people too much, but I think with the current situation going on around here, she might be able to make an exception. What do you think? Should we go find her?
I mean, we're a charming bunch of people you couldn't find, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
Maybe you shouldn't talk too much.
I am practically irresistible.
Practically.
I didn't even mean that pun.
The coast is a good idea. If we head that way, whoever that woman talking in the orb was, she's probably headed that way too. So best comes to it, we have Gann's friend. Worst comes to it, we run into whoever the hell that was. Maybe she knows more than we do.
And I mean, best case scenario, we find some footprints and we follow them. It is snowing everywhere, right?
Just randomly start following around footprints. We're the worst adventurers in the whole of the Icewind Dale.
I think these are her footprints, guys.
No, it's another rabbit. It's another rabbit.
Damn it. Okay, then I guess let's start moving toward making our way to the coast then.
Okay. So you do kind of think through what you remember about Anga last time you saw her. She has awakened, like it's certainly not a pet, that would be the wrong word to describe it. But she has awakened a huge whale, a narwhal, called Angajuk, which is definitely not how you pronounce that, but it's what we're going to go with. And Angajuk is famous across the Dales for being incredibly bad-tempered. But possibly, if you could persuade Anga and her pet Angajuk to, I don't know, to your cause, then they might be able to take you across the oceans or under the oceans. And this is weighing upon your mind as you arrive at the coastline at Anga's cabin. There is a huge arch of silvery ice, starts on the coast and goes into the sea. In the hollow of the arch, there is a small jetty with a large brass bell. All of it is hoary and frozen with ice. In the base of the arch that's on the land, there is a cabin has been carved out and gone, depending on your backstory, you may or may not have been in there. But from this distance, all you can see is a closed ice-white door.
I'd like to... I'll ask the others just to kind of wait back just a little bit, and then I'll approach the cabin and knock on the door.
So you arrive within 50 feet, and you realise the door is ajar. And in fact, it can't close now because there's about a foot of ice and snow that have blown in to the cabin, probably over many days, if not weeks. And all you can see through the crack is darkness.
I slow down, I look back to the others and wave them forward because I'm not really feeling the idea of getting jumped by myself by some kind of creature that could be in here. So once the rest get here, I point out to the door and I'm like, it looks like something might have happened here, or at least that it's been abandoned for a while. So maybe we should be approached cautiously. Can I do a perception to see if I see anyone around?
Sure, yeah. As you kind of glance around the skies and round the sides of the this huge frozen arch, yeah, give me a roll.
+5, yay.
Can I investigate after this?
Fuck. What is with our roll tonight? I got a 5 + 5. I got 10.
So the blizzard around you, although not so terrible that you cannot travel, it's obscuring almost complete sight of anything beyond the kind of 50-foot circumference around the circle around you. You can just about make out the top of the arch, but you don't see anyone up there, and there's no sign of any footprints in the virgin sort of snow beneath you.
So I'd like to investigate.
What?
Oh yeah, sorry, go on.
I think
What do you want to investigate? Do you want to go into the cabin, or
I want to go
kind of
into the
searching?
cabin and investigate, see what's been happening. So roll that.
Are you well? Before you do any investigation, how are you entering? Are you drawing a sword? We can hold that 19.
27 with the modifier. Yeah. So I'm not drawing a sword. I'm just walking in, and I'm just trying to take a look around. Yeah.
So you kind of reach up and push the door, but there's so much ice and snow that have gathered on the lintel. You can't open it. In fact, unless you want to make me a strength check. But you do think you could probably squeeze round the side of the door without.
I'll
too
squeeze
much
in.
trouble.
I'm not looking to, alert everybody that I'm there, but I'm definitely snooping around.
It's
How many
like
hit
kicking
points
the door in.
You have again? No, I'm just checking. It's fine. You
He's not joking. He never jokes.
You kind of like stick your head into the darkness beyond, and what is revealed is a small, I guess, cave, no more than 10 foot in diameter because it is circular. There's a small sort of fire made out of metal. There's a rough bed and a few possessions that are sort of scattered across. But the whole room is filled with this scattered snow. But what immediately captures your attention is the walls are covered in scratches and markings, arcane sigils, strange and disturbing drawings have been carved through unknown means. You're not sure, but it doesn't look like any kind of knife could have done them. They're too wide and too strange, but they cover all the walls around you, and you immediately feel slightly unnerved.
Xalfiz, I think maybe this is something for yourself or Gann, or for you, or actually probably Kestra. I think you should all take a look in here. This is
Graham, what do you say? We can't hear you in there.
No, okay, I'm gonna come back outside. You should go in there and look at these walls because, it's very disconcerting. I'm not sure.
I think
Nothing good happened here.
Kestra hears that something weird's happening in there, and she's all for it. She wants to see what the creepy is.
I think Xalfiz will follow Kestra in, but first he's kind of like walking around. He sees this giant arch and a weird jet, and he's like, Graham, what's the story with this lady? This is like a lot. Like, is it an arch? Does this like? And he's walking along the jetty. There's like, I assume, nets and like a fishing crate, some like, I don't know, little box of whale blubber or something. Maybe not whale blubber. She's that pet.
None of that at all. But it is covered in very, very slippery ice, and you immediately find yourself sliding out of control towards the frozen waters beyond. So I'd like you to make me a dexterity acrobatics or a strength athletics.
So as like
losing control.
As Lady Penguin kind of spins out of control, I'm going to try and like grab the bell at the end of the jetty for stability.
Okay.
Probably not going to cause anything to happen, right?
that would fall under your acrobatics.
Dexterity or which? Acrobatics.
Yeah.
1 second. Where the fuck is my acrobatics? Excuse me. Either way, it's the same. So it is 10.
10. So you grab onto the
Hold the
rope.
Flash to Genius. Can I use Flash to Genius as well?
Yes. Okay. How does it manifest?
So I realize like I'm trying to catch my balance and I'm kind of slipping and trying
both
to.
hands.
No, I'm trying to steer Lady Penguin to not skid out of control, and then realize, we're going to the water here. I'm going to try and grab the bell. So my Flash of Genius is to grab the bell.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Nice. Okay. I thought it was going to be to like kick Lady Penguin to sort of give you momentum in the other two.
I was like, can't say Lady Penguin here because he will put her to the bottom of the ocean, and I haven't got to use her recently.
Okay. So what does Flash of Genius give you? Nice. Okay, so you easily grab onto the bell. The rope is knotted and cold, but somehow not frozen. Maybe it's been oiled, but either way, you find yourself swinging gently back and forth. And as the ball within inside the bell touches against the metal, it rings loud and sonorous, a huge sound echoing out over the whole bay, way louder than the force that you provided should have given it. And then it kind of rings again and again and again like an echo, increasing upon itself until you're almost in pain, and you see the ice of the pier cracking beneath, and you kind of look up nervously above to see if this archway is going to fall down upon you, but it doesn't. If anything, it's just amplifying this sonorous sound which suddenly dies out.
My bad. I slipped on the ice. I'm very sorry. It was the only way to stop going into the sea. It was Lady Penguin's fault. Bold Lady Penguin.
Well, there goes any surprise we might have had here. And I'd like
In
to
my
just try
defense, they're probably surprised.
I'd like to try to just force the door open now that we're not trying to be sneaky anymore.
Yeah, that's
and I
fine.
want to go in and take a look at the scratchings.
So there's no time. Well, I don't think there is any massive time issues. You can kind of push and give it a few goes until it opens, and it does eventually open up. And you manage to clear enough of the snow and ice away, so the door will open and close. And you are shocked to discover the exact same markings that you saw on the wall of both the wall in Bryn Shander that the serial killer had scratched in, but also some of the things that you saw in the Lonely Wood when your master had gone over to Oriel's worship.
How about Dugan's Hole? Is it similar to that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it the same scratchings from Dugan's Hole?
Yeah. So, can I? This is like what I saw in Dugan's Hole. Maybe we can find something from it, about Oriel or about the Codical or anything like that. And can we do an investigation roll on the?
Well, how long do you want to spend on it? Do you want to just do a brief? If you just want to do a brief pass over and see if there's anything jumps out at you, then you can give me an investigation or religion roll. If you want to spend longer, bring more light into it, perhaps, then you absolutely can find out a few things, and I'll give you another roll for that.
I'd be happy to spend longer. I'd like to look over quickly to see if I see anything in relation to the Codical, and then if I find any mention of it, I would like to spend more time on that particular part of the scratchings to investigate it further.
Okay, and what are you going to use for light?
I'll just I'll have torches with us, and I'll just light one of those.
So as you light a torch and bring it close to the markings, you immediately see them beginning to melt and bring it away quickly. But you realize if you'd lit a bonfire in here, these delicate hieroglyphs, is the only way you can describe them, would have disappeared almost immediately. So do you want to give me either investigation or religion, but you can roll with advantage?
What I'd like to say is, do either of you have dark vision? Kestra.
Negative.
I'm assuming I've come to the door at this point as well.
Yes, I hope so.
I also don't have dark vision. I don't think.
Okay, so we actually have a party. I thought that at least one of us had it. No, I guess just I mean, out of the three.
Yeah,
It's my first time playing gnomes. So I don't know if I do. I must check.
Kestra, can you read this and make any sense out of it? I don't want to. It looks like this could melt if I bring anything with heat too close to it, and I don't want to risk messing up any chances we have of getting any clues.
I do have dark vision as well.
Kestra will go up to it. Is it possible for her to look at this, perhaps? Because I think from having heard about this now, these sound weirdly kind of magical-ish in some kind of nature, in some background. So can I go for something based in Arcana, see if she can recognize anything here?
Yeah, you can definitely give. It's definitely more of the kind of clerical magic side, but there is a crossover. So yeah, you can give me that roll if you'd prefer. But with Arcana, you can't roll with advantage.
That's fine. 12.
So it seems to be almost like a history of the practices of Oriel, like ways to please her. So in your kind of initial study, you pull out a few bits of information. The first thing that you see is that her portfolio, so all the gods of the Forgotten Realms, they each kind of have their own portfolio of what their worshippers look for and what gives them their power. Oriel's portfolio is cruelty, endurance, isolation, and preservation. And different sections of the hieroglyphs seem to be highlighting different parts of this portfolio. So the one that you're looking over here seems to be that of preservation, and you can see these sort of frozen statues of worshippers who have given themselves to Oriel.
I think she takes the time to look at it, make sure she's seeing something right, and then turns back to the group. I mean, this isn't my expertise, the whole gods thing. You know, she kind of just to herself and her red skin and the huge tail she has with her. But this is talking about the portfolio of Oriel. It's creepy. She favors cruelty and endurance and isolation, and these bits here, and she kind of points out, forgetting for a minute that nobody else can probably see these as clearly as she can. I mean, these are people frozen because they followed her. Who does that?
Fanatics.
And in the back of your mind, you hear a voice saying, "You could."
What did he say?
You could.
Sorry, excuse me.
Who needs Aram's effects when you got Joe? At this point, like, I think Xalfiz would have balanced himself back up and pottered in as well. And gnomes do have dark vision. So can I also, like, in the 2 years I've been around, I would have been kind of investigating the fascinating situation with the ice mate and trying to get home. So can I kind of do a history check on the same thing?
Sure. Again, with history, you won't get to roll with advantage.
What were the ones that had advantage? Sorry, history was one of them.
I think it was religion and investigation.
Cool. I can do an investigation. That makes as much sense for my character, I guess. So the first one is 14, and second one is 24.
Much better.
Wow. Okay. So you begin to piece together the puzzles that Kestra has identified. So there are the 4 areas that identify her portfolio, and she's pointed out this area where the people who have preserved themselves in ice, and you notice that they all seem to be holding a book, and they're offering it towards Oriel, who makes this central figure. Although Oriel herself seems to be made up of 3 figures. And then you kind of go to the next bit and you see this isolation where someone has taken themselves off out into the tundra alone, and you see that they're reading a book. And in all 4 areas of her portfolio, you see evidence of this book, which you reckon could be the Codicon being offered to Oriel.
Very good. So I have prior history of books on our shows, and I don't know if I should want to continue on this arc. Destroying books. So, yeah, Xalfiz is going to explain.
Guys, what I can see here is this book. Maybe it's this codicle we heard about. It's key to each of her. What do you call them? Not tenants. I was going to say tenants.
Portfolios.
Oh, portfolio. Okay. Like, and it is in all 4 of them. I can see some from a book in each of them. Can I?
In all of them, yeah.
It seems key to whatever she believes in. What gives her power. So we need to find this codicle, I guess.
And do we see any sign around the house of Anga at all? Of any signs of struggle, any signs of anything?
I gone fishing sign or something.
It looks abandoned. You'd think that no one has been here for weeks, if not months. But you do hear from outside the sound of cracking ice, an enormous sound that could only be a mammal or an animal of some sort roaring into the air from the direction of the pier.
I will run outside and see what it is.
You're gonna go try and talk to it?
I suggest not running. It is quite slippery out there.
So you burst from the cabin and you see down by the dock, or the pier, there is an enormous horn. It must be 13 foot long, and at its base, probably about 2 foot wide. The head of this enormous narwhal is breaking through the ice, smashing the covering of the sea into pieces, and is bellowing this terrible but also beautiful sound into the cold air, calling out to whoever rang the bell.
Oh God.
Does anyone speak narwhal?
I think your taxi's here, Xalfiz.
What? What's a taxi?
It's a taxi. That's clearly not a taxi.
I quite like that. You can have inspiration.
Yes.
Oh no.
Should encourage him.
There's no sign of. It's just Aga Juke, no Aga, right?
Yeah. I do apologise to the writers because they even gave me a pronunciation guide, which I did look at this morning, and I thought I'm not going to get that wrong, which I blatantly have. We're going to call it Angajuk.
Angajuk, okay. So, God, you can talk to animals, right? You're like a druid. That's like your thing.
I can try, and I'd like to
hope
kind
so.
of.
I mean, I've been practicing my whale. Hello.
I'd like to.
Finding Nemo joke, anyone? No.
I'd like to slowly approach, not slipping on the ice like our good friend Xalfiz did. I'd like to slowly approach the pier.
The ringing of the bell had smashed the ice on the pier, but it's strangely unslippery, a magical property perhaps. And as you approach, your voice echoes out saying, "All right there, boyo. You're not Anga. Where is Anga?"
All right, she awakened you. I was hoping you might be able to tell us. We came here to speak with her, but her house is abandoned. It looks like maybe she gave herself to the Frost Maiden.
With a huge splash, the whale forces its head out the water so it can stare at you with one enormous eye, and it squints and goes, "I think you may be right there. Last time I saw her, she was distant, changed, different. You're not far over yet, are you?"
No. Me and my friends here were trying to stop Boreal, or at least free the land from her curse.
Yep.
Hello.
Hi.
Again, there's like another splash of water as the whale splashes its tail, and you will kind of back off as frozen water or freezing water splashes across the pier. "I would appreciate that. I journeyed too close to Oriel's island. Got attacked by a bloody rock. Look at my back." And you see across his back are these terrible marks, these tears in his otherwise pristine flesh, as if an enormous creature, maybe a bird, had tore into him.
That's rough, man.
Mr. Angajuk, did you say her rock?
Rock is it's a large bird, Xalfiz. Not a rock as in, and I point at like a rock on the coast.
I mean, look, I've been attacked by rocks in my time. Just wanted to clarify. It's handy to know the enemy.
You know when the Frost Maiden flies across the sky at night on that giant bird?
Yes.
That's her rock.
Look, nature's your thing. I'm a man of science.
That's why I'm trying to help you, Xalfiz.
Thank you. Same page. Thank you very much. Big fan, Armajuk.
Body, has anyone else rung
Call him
this bell?
Marmaduke.
I said Armajuk. I'm not gonna lie. I have put in the notes for the questions at the end Marmaduke joke, and that's all I can see in my corner of my eye. So the joke is spoiled now. Angajuk,
Sorry,
what's
what
this?
did you say, V?
Angajuk, has anybody else rung this bell? Have you seen anybody else on the coast other than Anga? Another woman, perhaps?
Oh, you mean Nas? Horribly rude woman as she came here. What would it be?
Really irritating
Maybe.
voice.
Really irritating voice.
Yeah.
She wanted to be dropped off at the island.
Did you drop her off?
Well, of course. She paid me.
Okay.
Since Anger stopped feeding me, I am very rare. I get a delicacy such as those that Nas brought me.
What did Nas bring you?
Tell you it wasn't kids.
No, squid, not kids, you disgusting little man.
Look, I've heard a lot of fairy tales. It's always a kid gets eaten by a whale.
So, Gann, can you shapeshift into a squid?
He can now. He's past level
I
6.
could, I could, but I'd rather not be eaten by a giant whale.
Don't do it.
Do you take us to where you dropped her off?
Oh,
Yeah, but
why
that
should I
would've
do
moved,
that?
We might be able to, if Anga has given herself to the Frost Maiden, we might be able to rescue her. Would you like that?
Well, I wouldn't say no.
And
Also,
maybe
we can
along
offer.
the
Do you
way
like
we
to
can
taste
get
some
you-
moose?
Do you want to?
I slap Xalfiz in the back of the head.
Do you want to give me a persuasion roll, guys?
Asshole.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, I'm really good at persuasion. Can I do it at an advantage because I'm so charming and suave?
No.
Is that you? Or the way of speaking.
I'm going to do flash inspiration beforehand anyway.
I got a 8 minus 1. So I got a
Plus
7.
5.
Plus
Plus
5.
5.
I got 12.
Honestly,
God.
the seas around the Frost Maiden's Isle are reeking of sea devils, and that's not to mention the rock itself. I don't feel I'm gonna take anybody else there. No, last time I was there, the bloody rock did this to my back.
What if
No,
we
I don't
protected
think-
you from the rock?
I have a proposition.
Go on.
What if he fed you the rock? Sorry, go on.
Well, like Gann
Do you like
said,
bird?
we can take care of the rock. That thing shouldn't trouble you again. And you said that this woman, Naz, the horribly rude one with the annoying voice.
Horribly rude.
Well, first of all, we can't have that. That is not how somebody's mother should raise her. Secondly, you said that she was able to get you squid. Well, if you take us to Naz, we can find out how she procured so much of that delicacy for you and perhaps make sure that we can bring it to you. Or at least, when we find Anger, tell her where Naz is getting so much of this delicacy. And then you don't have to worry about food.
Give me a persuasion roll. Sounds very
Teach a whale
reasonable.
to fish. What a good job. That's good.
25.
25. Well, if you could maybe sort out that horrible bird, I maybe would end the whole rhyme itself. I mean, without the bird, how does Oriel cast her spell? But if you could sort out that horribly rude woman, then that would be enough. Especially if maybe you could find me some deep sea squid while you're there. I do apologise for this terrible accent, but what other accent can you use for a whale?
I love it.
Great. Yeah. It's going down well.
Well, we can definitely sort out the horribly rude woman. I have raised 2 sons, so I think that we can maybe teach her a lesson about being more polite to the people who are, taking her across a freezing cold ocean.
Right, then hop on. And he gestures to his back, where you see like a wooden construction, which looks like. I mean, now that you look at it, you can kind of see it, and it begins to sort of fold up. Oh, have we lost Owen? Oh dear.
Yeah, we've lost him.
Owen's disappeared.
Is this maybe time for a 10-minute break? Are we trying?
I think it would. Yeah, maybe a 10-minute
Yeah,
break while
yeah.
we resurrect Owen.
Brilliant. Okay, well we'll be back soon.
much faster than the time.
Are we live now? Hello and welcome back to Rime with the Frost Maiden. My name is
time.
Jake.
Literally when the audio came on, too.
Every time.
See, you've made it worse now. I could have just plowed on through it and you've ruined it.
Oh, well, yeah, but we would have no fun that way.
Okay, so hello and welcome back to Rime with the Frost Maiden. My name is Joe Trier and we are back in the frozen north. On the last episode, our companions had journeyed to the Sea of Moving Ice in the hope of finding a way to Oriel's Island. They are chasing someone called Nas, who, if I guess careful listeners have picked up, was actually Grigor's apprentice. She has stolen the real Professor's orb and is in hunt of something called the Codicle of White, one of Oriel's artifacts, which is rumored to be allow them to travel deep into the Reghed Glacier and access the lost city of Netherrealm. Our party are now sitting on the edge of a pier, a dock, talking with a strange creature, an awakened beast known as Angerjack, an enormous narwhale who has invited them, after a little persuasion, to ride on its back and journey through the frozen ocean or through the freezing depths to the Isle of Solstice. And I think we left you as you were about to climb onto its back. On Angerjack's sort of tough skin along its spine, there is a strange wooden contraption, at least you think it's wooden, which sort of looks like a minibus if you sort of chopped the roof off, with some sort of uncomfortable benches or uncomfortable looking benches. And he sort of motions for
I
you
can do tourist chips.
to jump on.
Anger Jeff.
If you want to journey to the Isle, just climb on my back and I'll dive down under the ice. It moves pretty fast, but I have an idea of where she was heading when I last saw her.
All right. We're grateful for this. Thank you very much. And I'd like to, I guess, get onto the narwhal taxi.
You step onto the wood and you immediately look down and realize that the wood is not wet, which doesn't make any sense because the whale has literally just lifted itself out of the ocean, or himself out of the ocean.
All right.
Apparently,
is
there are
going
heated
on?
seats.
Heated seats, yeah, it's a convertible.
Come on, don't tally.
Yeah,
We need
come
to head
on.
off. It's 4 days travel to get there.
All right.
Okay. Come on, guys, let's go.
All right.
All
I
right.
guess we all bundle in, yeah?
Okay.
Xalfiz like picks up Lady Penguin and like really bad lifting.
Nope. Is he gone
We
again?
lost Eric.
What a beautiful
He's
freezer.
frozen in a horrible position.
Let me
that's
grab that real
fantastic.
quick.
Yeah,
Well,
I gotta get a
let's-
screenshot of that.
Got it.
Let's
Don't
try
worry.
and push
It's going to
it
be up on Discord in a second.
I mean, it's immortal through Twitch anyway. Hey, Owen.
I'm back again.
You
I'm
frozen
guessing
it.
it was a good
Yeah, it was a good free
Yeah,
frame.
it was a good one.
Lovely.
Okay, so you all step onto these wooden benches, and before you have time to even catch your breath, Angerjack lifts up and then ducks straight down into the icy water. You all kind of panic for a moment before you realize you're looking up into a bubble which has formed around the decking. It's probably only about 7 foot high. In fact, Gann, you are dangerously close to touching the edge, even in the center of the bubble, let alone the outsides. And you see through its sort of semi-translucent membrane, Angerjack flying deeper and deeper through the frozen waters. And they're not dead. There's all sorts of strange creatures seen in the distance, bright lights and odd movements, silvery flashes, and the occasional red flash of a jellyfish, which disappears into Angerjack's gullet. You can hear his sonorous voice speaking through the floor, the echo of his speech coming up through the wood itself. There's some very interesting sights on this journey. I'll act as your guide, and when we see something of note, I'll I'll bring your attention to it. For now, you probably have a good 8 hours till you see the next thing. So buckle in and enjoy.
I love these going. This is your captain speaking.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm seeing, like on a whaleboat tour or something like that.
Keep your hands and feet inside the bubble at all times. No.
Please don't forget your Duke merch. I've got Duke merch in the back seats.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we're going through the water. Is there anything else we can do right now? Anything we need to do?
I'll pick up a narwhal hat, like it's got a horn on the front of it, off the back seat.
It's up to you. Is there anything? Is there a conversation you want to have? Is there anything you want to discuss, or do you want to just push on until we find out what happens in 8 hours?
Short rest?
We could probably do a long rest.
It'd be a long rest if you need to. Yeah.
Cool, long
Yeah.
rest. I can do my flash of geniuses. They feel handy.
Yeah, for sure.
Would be overnight, absolutely. Yeah, this would be
Yeah.
as you travel through the darkness.
So
Yeah,
we're
more
actually. What else are we
What else?
getting?
We're
Our temporary
D&D.
hit points back. Boom.
So, at any point, does anyone want to investigate the bubble?
Yeah. I think all of us do.
While we're underwater.
So, I think
Like poking at it with a knife.
You noted first. So what would you do? Like, does anyone want to poke it with a knife? Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I put my hand out through it just to be like, what actually happens while we're moving.
Okay.
It's wet.
Can you
Your
give me a
arm gets
constitution
torn off.
You
saving
get
throw?
the announcement.
Yeah, what do you think it is?
Can you
Wet
give-
paint?
Yeah. Can you give me a constitution saving throw?
Oh God.
It's DC 10. As you plunge your hand through the bubble as if it's nothing, as if it's water. That's what it feels like, running your hand, like through a tap or through a waterfall, but immediately into the incredibly icy depths beneath, which begin to freeze your skin and
Oh no.
hurt you to your very core.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
got rolled a
you
7.
immediately
Yeah.
okay, so you immediately take on 1 level of exhaustion, but luckily you have a long rest, so you will recover
Yeah,
that
yeah.
before it impedes upon everything. But you are shocked, well, maybe not shocked, by how cold the waters are beyond. But yeah, sorry, Kestra,
Very cold,
what do you want
everybody.
to do to investigate before
Kestra,
Kuran stuck his hand?
watches Graham do this because she's about to not stick her hand through it, but like just to go to press her hand against it. She watches what happens, sees the look of shock and cold, thinks better of it, and instead, I think she just wants to figure out what it is that's causing this. Like, is this something that the whale itself is doing? Is it an enchantment that's been placed on this boat? I think her concern is like, how easy is this for it to just stop working?
You are very, very deep right now as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, to give me an Arcana roll, or you can give me investigation.
I mean, they're both the same for me, so but I'll go Arcana. That seems to make sense. Oh God, no, that's the worst. The worst.
Oh no.
1. I rolled the 1. Friends.
Okay, I think as you're kind of leaning towards the edge of this this deck, and you notice there's a silvery band, probably only 1 inch thick, that circles the circumference of the deck, and that seems to be generating this bubble. But you kind of lean a bit too close, and suddenly, like, the top of your head just disappears through the bubble.
It's the horns.
The
going
horn,
through
yeah.
The bubble.
And you're kind of doused in freezing cold water. So again, you would need a Constitution save, but because there's going to be a long rest, it's kind of moot. So I won't make you make it. But it is quite unpleasant, and you are sort of, your breath is taken away
She
from you.
shrieks. She absolutely. She doesn't realise her horns are going through it. She's trying to look, and then there is a scream from the back of the boat, the sound of water splashing, and Kestra, who does not like the cold, just standing there like, "Don't touch the bubble."
Yeah, no, and I'm standing behind you, holding my hand, going, "Yep, yep."
Imagine she shares a look
what-
with Graham, just like we did something stupid, didn't we?
Yeah, we know.
Gonn's like, at what point would touching the bubble have been a good
I was like,
idea?
"Hey, Gann, hey, Gann, you should try to touch the bubble."
No. Thank you, though.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it now.
So,
Gann touches the bubble.
Oh no.
so
He does
we're going to
not.
kind of like cut scene away from these shenanigans, which are hilarious, but we have a story to tell. And you are awoken in the morning as Anger Jack points out the first of many quote-unquote sights that he wants to show you. The first one is a very interesting rock, which he likes and always stops. Whenever I come by here, I always stop by this rock. Very, very interesting. Look how this side is very flat. Also, very, very flat.
Is this the same rock that attacked you?
I'm still very confused with the whole rock situation.
I would say this is more of a boulder than a rock. You're probably right there, but no, look how flat. And you kind of circle it for a good hour until you appreciate the flatness of one side of the rock before he sails on. Another, 5 hours later, you're kind of awoken from your daze, or maybe you're sort of playing cards or something, as he passes by a school of fish. Now, there's been many schools of fish, but apparently these fish are these fish, they don't see them very often. In fact, I think these are attracted here by the rock. We saw 5, and it just goes on and on and on. There are a few
extremely
things.
Boring.
but
I'm loving
Loving
this.
this.
Xalfiz is all about the information. He's taking notes.
I
he's
say
not-
that as me, not as Gann. Gann is interested too, but I just like the whale.
He's not just boring, but he won't move on until you've all exclaimed in delight.
Wow.
I feel like Kestra's an expert at this, having raised 2 sons. She's done that parent thing of, yes, darling, that's lovely.
You know that Nas, she said very rude things about these fish. And that rock, if you can believe not the rock, the boulder, if you can believe it. He wasn't interested at all, got very sharp with me. If you can believe
Is there
it.
anything worth saying?
But there,
It takes a long time to say.
But 3 days later, he is drifting over quite a deep ravine, and he says, down there is the mysterious ruins of the lost city of Austria. I think that's how it's pronounced. The lost city of the frost giants. I believe many, many years ago, before the current civilizations, before Netheril, before anyone else really, the giants and the dragons ruled the world. Down there is one of their cities, but it's not as interesting as the sites I've been showing you, so I think we'll just leave that.
Whoa.
And it begins to kind of float on.
Mr.
Maybe-
Duke, how old are you?
Not as old as those giants who built the city down below. Oh no. In human years, I'd probably be very...
Technically speaking, human years and gnome years and whale years are all the same because it's all based on our plane going around the sun. Actually, I don't know how it works in D&D. I just realized halfway through that sentence. I was like, I was going to sound really smart. That's Earth, not D&D.
You're mixing up your worlds, dude.
If we go round the sun, then don't we crash into the celestial spheres that the spell jam... A whale probably wouldn't know that. Nas was going on about something. Or...
Maybe
Jabber.
maybe at another time we can visit that city, but for now we can continue on.
Like, you must
Tell us more about this flat
understand, young
rock.
Xalfiz.
Yeah, tell me more about this rock.
Well, I mean, actually, you do glimpse the city below, and it is strange and incredible. You know, this sort of cyclopean landscapes of enormous sort of pyramid structures, and you do see something faintly glowing below, like pulsing with a sort of greenish light.
Welcome to Innsmouth.
Yeah, I was going to say Cthulhu shows up and
Yeah.
This is where the fishy giants come from. That giant has eyes that are slightly too far apart.
Oh, that's a synchro reference. Is good.
But if anyone wants to give me not an investigation roll, sorry, it'd be a perception roll if you want to see if you can spot anything down there.
hell yeah.
100%.
Perception's +5. Maybe I can actually make a good roll tonight
Oh, why would you say that?
because I'm going to roll an at 20.
I'm going to attempt it, but I don't think I have
I
it.
rolled a 2 + 5. Rolled a
Oh, wow.
7.
Yeah. Oof. A lot of bad rolls.
We're underwater,
plus-
you know, it's understandable.
It's a 4. Am I gonna get it right? No. Yay!
Who's that? Who rolled the 12? Oh, Xalfiz. So what did you get?
16.
16. Okay,
No,
so
I
the other-
rolled 16 as well.
Sorry.
I rolled
rolled a
12 plus
12.
4. 12 plus 4.
Yeah, there you go.
So as the other two are squinting at this kind of sort of flashing green light in the depths, you have both noticed an enormous shadow has kind of swum up from the edge of the canyon and is trailing you. This thing is enormous. You think it must be at least 30 foot long, swimming below you, kind of out of Angerchuk's sight, almost in its shadow, and it's getting closer.
There's always a bigger fish. So I'm gonna alert whale. You know the rocks are cool and all, but I think we're being.
No, I mean, I am a whale.
A narwhal, technically not a whale, surely.
Narwhal.
Narwhal. I mean, that is a name that I. And he begins to kind of expound loudly
I
inside.
love this whale so much.
So much.
We're being hunted. I'm pretty sure that thing right there. Can you see
He's
it?
absolutely not listening to you at all. But from you can see this thing now, and I think what we're probably going to do is move to our map. So I don't know if Aram, if you're listening, can we
shit.
Oh, we didn't know there was maps. We're all going to die.
we
Whenever maps
move?
come, we die.
It's
see
true.
the map?
Yeah, but there's not much we can do. We have the space of the bubble to move.
Okay, so can you see the map? Is that a thing?
Where should we
Make sure
find
we're
this
on the
map?
right one?
We would just make go to speaker view and then
You would
do,
find it on roll 20.
I leveled up. I leveled up
or roll
like an
20,
episode
yeah.
ago.
Get our map working.
Oh,
Sorry. Yep. Perfect. Okay,
Yes.
so you can move your characters. I'm happy to move it for you. Moving through the darkness below is an absolutely enormous shark.
Oh, cool.
This thing is incredible, and it's zooming towards you at blistering speed, going for Angerjack's sort of hind. Do whales have hind quarters? I don't know. But I'd like everyone to roll me initiative if that's okay.
quarters is based on limbs, so I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. No. So give me a shout out.
Okay, initiative it is.
Yeah, initiative. Yeah, here we go. +1, I think.
Excuse me.
Okay, shout them out as you do them.
It's a good one to roll a 1 on. I got 9.
9. Graham.
And I got 11.
Okay, nice.
10 +1.
Hands are really cold.
I rolled an 18, 16 plus 2. Get to him.
Wow, nice. And Kestra?
I rolled 5.
5. Okay, and let's see if I can get rolling for this giant shark.
Cool, it's a shark. We just found out, lads.
Well, you can see.
You
on the
just
picture.
said that.
Okay. You did. More than once.
Owen.
I was
me look up
focused on
what works against
my
sharks.
initiative.
Okay, so he gets a 4. So you've got some time to react. What do you want to do?
Oh God, I don't know.
Good question.
Let me look at my spells and see what I can actually do.
I'm like, how does all these work underwater?
I have a harpoon, so I'm just going to use that.
Okay, so top of the initiative anyway. So that would be Xalfiz as we're on you.
Yes.
I don't know how spells work underwater, but fuck it, let's try this. Why not? I'm going to. So I see it like it's trailing behind us. So I'm going to try and fire and slow it down, kind of constrict it. I'm going to fire web at it.
Oh, nice. Okay. So what does it need?
So it's a 16 saving throw.
Okay, let's give it a go.
And what I'm going to do, so it's coming out of the ravine. Can I anchor it to the ravine?
Okay, so it fails the saving throw. So it's basically in water. So this enormous web sweeps out of your hand, flies through the web, and spreads out in the water like a fishing net, and enwraps its face. And it begins to kind of swirl in the water, angrily biting it, spiraling and spinning and trying to get itself out, but still coming on towards you. And it's kind of like biting through it crazily.
So, a creature restrained by the web uses its action to make a strength check against the spell's DC save, which is 16.
Ooh, very nice. Okay.
But yeah, that's actually with that, I think that's my goal. I'm gonna just like, I think we can just leave now. He's distracted.
Angerjet goes, There's a shark trailing us. That thing, I've never seen anything so big. It's probably from the Sahuligan. Bloody sea devils below, they're after us. Quick, let's go. And he begins to sweep through the water at an increased pace. Not faster than the shark, I will say. Next up, we have, Gann with your 11.
Yeah, so the shark is currently restrained against a rock, correct?
No, it's just wrapped up in the webs. It's not restrained at all. It's still going towards you.
Right,
Okay.
so you're saying, like, so I can't anchor the web, like, to spell.
There's nothing to anchor it to.
Okay.
Nothing to anchor it to.
All right, I'm going to cast conjure animals,
Okay.
and I'm going to conjure 2 giant octopuses.
Okay.
One of which is going to. Do they get to act on this turn actually, or can I just use a spell to conjure them?
I think you probably need to wait till next turn. I wonder if I have any octopuses. I'll check my Roll20 library. Okay, it will be next turn. Okay.
Okay, so there's 2 giant octopuses that are now trailing us between us and the shark.
I do. I really apologise for this.
Oh wow. Okay. Right, I see.
Why is the shark blushing?
Yeah. Why is the shark?
It's the reflection of the bright red octopuses with pirate hats.
Multiple weapons and a pipe.
That's all I've got. I apologise.
Is
Don't
the
know why I
assumption
have
if
them
you
in
fill
my
the
library.
shark's belly, it'll leave us alone? Is that what's going on?
Okay. So, Graham.
I'm just going to chuck a harpoon and aim for the engines. Wait, no. I'm going to try and harpoon it, which is my short bow equivalent. So, yeah.
Okay, give me that ranged attack.
Try. And a terrible roll. I rolled a 10.
Okay, that's not going to do it. You basically you kind of have to get to the back of the bubble, and you launch your harpoon through the water, and it does seem slowed obviously by the change of medium, but crashes into the shark's skin and just bounces off and falls into the darkness below. Kestra, I think it's you. Let me just check the initiative. Yes, you're before the shark.
Kestra is concerned about this shark, and I think she's going to go for Eldritch Blast.
Oh, nice. Okay, how does your Eldritch Blast manifest?
I'm trying to think back now to the very first episode of what I said. 'Cause I can't
It's been a long.
remember.
You may have
Continuity.
re-manifested it,
I'm gonna
yeah.
make it up.
Don't worry about continuity.
I imagine for her it's this deep kind of red, almost fiery looking light. It's not fire, but it manifests, it looks like that with her infernal heritage. Which means it's going to look really cool cutting through that water.
Oh yeah, incredible contrast against the inky black.
It's gonna match really nicely with the red octopi. So I think I get 2 beams.
You do, yeah. At level 8.
I'm not used to playing warlocks, so I roll separately for them, I think. So that's the first one.
Rolls have been rough
So
as
14
anything
for
this
the
evening.
first one,
14 is a hit.
and 9 for the second one.
That's not it. So just 1 hit.
So that is. Sorry, I'm just checking this.
No, don't at all.
It is.
Okay, we've
1d10
got a great
plus
soundtrack.
4.
we get a
Good
little,
chase music.
Yeah.
little bit of a doom, 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 doom.
7 points of force damage.
Oh, very nice. And the shark kind of begins to twist and scream in agony as this sort of burn mark appears along its side, the side of its back. It's the shark's go. It gets +6 to strength to try and get itself out of the webs. Let's see how it does.
Oh, God.
That's 21. So it rips itself free, but that is its action. And suddenly you are struck, or at least seemingly struck, by a barbed arrow crashing through the bubble from above and bumping straight into Gann, the largest target. So Gann, you've been hit by this barbed arrow, which luckily only kind of grazes you for 3 points of damage.
That's fine.
There's another arrow strikes down towards Graham at the back of the boat with a 13 to hit Graham.
Nope.
And you see, like squinting through the water, there are these strange fish-like creatures. Their skin is a mottled green color, and their faces are twisted with anger, like enormous fish themselves. But in sharp, I just don't want to do Monty Python, but sharp, pointy teeth. and there are 5 of these creatures. One of them seems to be a bloated monstrosity with 4 arms, extremely large and hanging back. And another one, 2 of them are clutching shields, and they launch themselves towards you through the water at really quite a scary speed. And they will act upon.
Are they passing octopus by any chance?
Sorry?
Are they passing by octopus by any chance?
No, they've come from above. These are Sahooligan.
They're hooligans.
Yeah.
Sahooligan. That's definitely how you pronounce it. Yeah.
They're knighted
Alright, bro.
hooligans. They're knighted hooligans.
So there are
Millwall
5
fans.
of them. They're above you. You see them through the darkened water. 2
like a
below, I
tight-
think.
A tight
and-
formation kind of just coming down directly above us in the water, not above the water. Like.
Well, above the whale, they're above you in the water.
Yeah.
There's 3 to one side, although there's this sort of like large one, this bloated one is hanging back. You see one's hanging back with a bow as well, and there's 2 on the other side. But yeah, they're coming from above, and it's top of the round. It's Xalfiz.
Okay, so Xalfiz, after like 14 episodes, has realised he's kind of playing a support character, and I'm going to start doing some supporting. So the larger group, you said 3 of them are kind of tightly knitted together, is it?
Have a look on the map.
This is a hooligan. I have too many fucking maps open. Okay, so fair enough. 10 feet. Am I going to get rulers out? I'm trying to remember where the ruler is in this.
It's the little circle with the. It's just one above the dice roller.
Okay, cool. I'm going to aim at this guy here.
Okay, so the one with the bows, but just fired down at the 2 of you.
Yeah, and I'm going to cast Fairy Fire, so it'll catch all 3 of them.
Oh,
Is the plan?
nice.
If it'll...
This is one of those few
Fire
times
from
where we're not all standing next to the enemy, so you can.
Fairy Fire doesn't do damage directly to you. It just makes you way more vulnerable if it does
Yeah.
happen.
So they get a dex save, don't they?
DC 16 for a dex save.
Okay, so it looks like 2 of them passed, a 16 and 17, but the one with the 7 failed. And I'll mark the one that failed.
Mm-hmm.
The one with the bow.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, nice. Can Lady Penn do anything this round?
No, that is part of my action if I need to went with her, so that is my
nice.
go.
Okay. Gone.
Yeah. I would like one giant octopus to go and attack the shark.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So it's got to make a DC 16. I'm assuming strength saving throw.
Okay.
Basically, I go to attack it with the tentacles.
10 fail.
Tell me you have multi-attack.
Cool. Yeah. Well, do they? No, they don't actually have multi-attack. But
8
okay.
arms. Come on, wizards. Sort it out. Sort it out, wizards.
I think I just have to hit it actually.
Okay.
The target is a creature. Yeah. Okay. So I need to hit it first. So it's not grappled yet. Let me roll.
Okay.
What is it? +5 to hit. Can I have advantage because it's restrained?
No, it's not restrained anymore.
It broke out.
Oh, it broke out.
Okay,
I thought it failed. All right. I rolled a 18 +5.
That's a hit. That's
Okay,
a- yeah.
so that is 2d6 +3, and he is restrained. He has to make a DC 16 to escape.
Oh, nice. And so you try to hold it back as Angajik tries to escape.
Basically, yeah. I
Nice.
got to do 2d6 to damage it. And then I'm basically going to do the same thing to... I've done 12 damage to it.
Nice. Okay.
And then the other octopus is going to swim up to the other 2, to this group that we just shot at up here.
Yeah.
That Owen just shot at, and he's going to use Ink Cloud.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ooh.
So he's got a 20-foot radius of ink extends all around the octopus if it's underwater. So the octopus is going to swim right to here. Yeah. And ink cloud around it.
Okay.
So the guy with
So
the bow's got nothing.
Yeah. And
So would they need to make a saving throw?
no, they just need to get out of the
just
ink
obscures
cloud.
the area. Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
so they can't see anything. And after inking, the octopus gets a dash action, so he's just going to dash toward Angajuk so that he's nearby. And other than that, none of my spells can work in the current situation, so
I got a plan. Don't worry, I got a plan.
I'll chill there with the octopus ready to defend if need be, and the other one grappling onto the big shark.
Nice. Okay, so here's the ink cloud.
Nice.
Does it need to be a bit bigger? It probably does, doesn't it?
I think it's a 20-foot
so
radius.
Yeah, that's
it-
about right, isn't it?
No,
Oh, 20-foot radius.
Yeah,
Oh,
Look at
well,
that.
big ink cloud.
that's all of us in the pit.
Okay, so Angajuk begins to swim on, leaving behind the shark and the octopus. It is, I think it's Kuran's go. Graham.
Yeah, I'm gonna take out my short bow and try and shoot one of these guys on the just south of our whale. I think the two that are not engulfed in the ink.
Nice. Okay, the ones with shields.
Ones you can see.
Yeah, the ones with shields, the ones I can see. They, and I will attempt to hit one of them with my short bow. Oh no, rolled a 10, so that's definitely not a success. Yeah, they're
Okay.
rolling bad. Like really bad.
Okay, so Kestra.
I have a GM question.
Yeah.
Are these things considered humanoids?
Yes.
Cool. In which case, then, for both of them, I'm going to cast a third level hold person and attempt to paralyze them. So hopefully it makes them easier targets and they can't do anything to us. And maybe they'll just get drifted away by the current.
Perfect. Okay, give me that roll.
So I think you make a saving throw, wisdom saving
Okay.
throw. And my
Wisdom.
LDC is somewhere.
It's from like 15, 16 probably.
15. Is the
Okay,
DC.
so one's passed and one's failed. Angajuk is going to probably outrun them. Basically, you have succeeded in grappling the shark, blinding the hooligan, including their bloated leader. You've paralyzed one of their champions. The last champion has kind of seen everyone else being trailed behind, and Angajuk has managed to escape all of them. That was incredible. I was expecting that to be. I mean, the giant shark alone can rip Angajuk apart. You've made it through. And he breathes a sigh of relief, which you feel as a vibration along the entire back of his entire back, the entire floor of the minibus that you're on.
Whale sound effects are fantastic.
And we can leave the map. Thank you, Aram. All right there, my friends. I thought we'd had it. That was incredible. In fact, I will take that as payment for taking you to this terrible place. Right. And he begins to rise through the water, which
Before
you
he
notice.
rises, Joe.
Yep.
So,
Just
because we're going to
before-
rise.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Just saying, the water around him is noticeably slushy, like it is freezing.
Like
Before we,
deeper
like-
down.
Well, no, he's going up.
I mean, even below the surface, though, it's like slushy.
As you begin to rise, it's like
All right.
rising into slush.
So, before we come anywhere near the island or start like rising up into it, I'm going to again with talking to Angajuk as well. The other guy is like, look. So I probably should have done this earlier, and I better help in the fight back there. But I think technically I can make all of us invisible,
You can do what now?
which would probably help us get onto this island. Because if I cast a spell, it makes one creature and anything is carrying invisible for up to an hour. As I've reread my spells.
Oh my god.
That is an incredible twisting of the rules.
It's not. No, hold on. How dare you accuse me of cheating? It says, I'm going to read this. Here's a question for you, Joe.
Was that Angajuk
A creature
or was
you
that
touch
Joe?
becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything that target is wearing or carrying, both of which you could be doing to us, is invisible as long as on the target's person.
That's
Wow.
fair. That completely sounds right.
Aram never agrees with me. He always makes fun of us.
This whale's our
I'm
version of
all-
like the invisible plane.
I'm all for it. Yeah, you're gonna be. Do you want to cast it now? I mean, it's hold off on your spell casting, young creature. As we approach the island, I believe we're safe from the Rock's passage. Oriel and her flying bird creature only leave the island near midnight as they fly over the dale to cast their spell. So, when I was last here, we entered the island at midnight. Nas didn't want to risk getting the Frost Maiden's ire, so she made me approach at the most dangerous time. But don't you worry, little man. We are approaching midday, I'd say. I don't think there's any chance of the Rock seeing me, and I'll drop you off. Well, we're at the southern tip of the island. There's a nice boat I could just leave you on. It's an old pirate ship, I believe. From
You have
there,
any interesting facts about this pirate ship?
it's
There's
not
no flat
interesting
sides.
at all. No interest in pirate ships.
Thank you very much, Mr. Angaduke, and your meta information. That is very handy to save my spell.
It's fine, I'm just trying to move the story forward. Been doing this for an hour and 50 minutes. Really, we've only gone from A to B.
You're like, I want you to hurry up, but also here's a shark and 5 dudes.
You can't resist to whenever you can say Sahooligan, you've got to have that in there.
I feel like we should.
Hooligans.
I feel like we should kneel like he's a fucking king. Sahooligan. Brave's a hooligan.
Well, yeah, they're very good.
These, we are the
Sir Hooligan.
hooligans of Innsmouth.
So he begins to rise up through the darkness, and he is right. It probably is around midday as he approaches a large, I guess, pirate. I mean, it is a pirate ship, but the front half is completely buried in the ice. Oh, but you look closer, it's not ice. It's just almost frozen water, and he swims through it, pushing aside huge chunks of frost and this sort of hoary ice until you can all jump on to the sort of rear deck. I don't know the name of boat stuff of
Aft.
the aft deck, where the steering wheel is.
The hell? I grew up by the sea. I don't even know about boats myself. You like Star Trek? It's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. In Star Trek.
And you leap on board the frozen deck, and you can see from there the 50-foot high cliffs disappearing up into the fog above, and within probably 20 foot of the boat itself is a dock. But this is no normal dock. This is a dock of cyclopean, of colossal stature. The steps leading up to it are each at least 5 foot high. And the dock itself towers 50 foot above, it would have been 40 foot above you, just below the cliffs themselves. They are broken, the steps, and you can see that this structure has survived millennia, and it shows wear and tear, but they are still there, and you can still see evidence of the ancient giant civilization. So I'll just drop you here then. I am willing to wait below. Don't really fancy fighting against the Sahooligan menace anytime soon, and I have heard there are some tasty morsels below, and perhaps a flat rock for me to go and explore. But I cannot wait forever. How long do you wish to stay on Oriel's island?
We don't know. We don't know how long this might take.
We could hedge our bets 2 weeks.
I'm not waiting that long.
Why don't you wait for as long as you can, and we can call for you when we're finished here. And if you've already gone, then you've already gone. If
We
you're
can
around,
do that. Do you have magic that can reach to my ears below the depths?
I can turn into a creature to come down to you. One of my octopus can come find you.
Or I can just do a massive thunder wave in the water. If you hear a
I
loud
have
bang, that's us.
thaumaturgy, where I can create big, loud sounds.
How about we just say we aim for 24 hours?
If you hear something that scares you real bad, that's us.
I think I should
Jack
be able to
Bauer.
replicate the bell with my
Yeah,
thaumaturgy.
Probably not its exact effect, but you could certainly mimic its sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sound.
Yeah.
So you could
All
do
right
that.
then. I will listen out for you, and I will stay as long as I can. But these waters are dangerous, as you've seen, and really I don't dare wait too long in the Frost Maiden's abode. Nas said that she can sense anything that enters the boundaries of above and below, and I don't want to risk her ire. But I'll wait as long as you can. And I
That felt like pertinent information.
surface.
Where does this boundary start?
Yeah, like you could have listened before we passed the boundary, just saying.
It's like get off the island. Also know that she knows you're here.
You don't need to cast invisibility because she won't see us, but now she knows you're here.
All good.
Well, I won't risk going on the island myself, and I certainly won't be going under the shelf it stands on. But I wish you luck. It has been a pleasure knowing the four of you. You have been most obliging in listening to my tales, and if you survive, I will tell you many a story of the flat rocks and strange things I find below.
Thank
You're
you.
not talking the past tense, knowing. You still
Yeah.
know us. Can we not talk in the past tense? This isn't over.
Yeah, you're talking like you think we're going to die here.
Well, as I said, it'll be good to see you again. And he sort of rolls onto his side and flaps one.
A tear rolls out from his eyes. Things were dead, basically. Yeah.
I was like, why did it have a?
Give it up.
It had a eulogy vibe to it, didn't it? Like,
God.
As the icy bitter wind sort of flows across you, you do wonder if you've made quite the mistake as you stare up as the icy cliffs above.
so this is what it comes to, eh?
And is there any way up the cliffs? Like you said there's stairways and that's like huge.
Yeah, so 20 feet away. I will say 20 feet with across the frozen, the not so frozen icy ocean is the first step. The steps are 5 foot high each, and they clamber
Dear God.
precariously up to the huge. I mean, you can't even imagine. I suppose maybe you can imagine the size of the ships that must have docked here.
5 whole feet.
Gann, can you just, you're a druid, can you turn into something big with wings and just fly us up these steps?
I could turn into something large, but I'd need to do several runs, but I'm okay with that.
Maybe you should whistle. Maybe your moose can walk on water.
No.
But before that, should you not cast Pass Without a Trace?
Yeah, come on. People are doing drinking.
Did we just change to the let's pick on Gann part of the podcast?
Also, maybe a bonfire would be sweet. Okay.
While you're having this, while the three of those are chatting, Kestra, can you just give me a perception listen roll as you're
As you're not an idiot.
arguing?
I'm not very good at perception. This will be fun.
Oh boy.
Good at investigation. I'm not good at perception.
No, like, I mean, did you just hear something? Like a thud or a thump? No, couldn't be. And you kind of just disregard it. You didn't hear anything.
Puts it off as it being her tail slapping against some of the snow and like knocking ice about.
Must have been
She
that.
turns,
That would
like,
be.
she panics for a second. She's like, "Oh, that's me." Okay.
So what? We're on a boat that, and then the stairs are about 20 feet away from us, right?
Yeah, I think we established you're on the back deck of the boat by the steering wheel. 20 foot away from the icy steps that lead up to a huge dock.
I mean, I'd be happy to shape change into a giant eagle and fly us up the stairs, as many of us as I can at once. Maybe do 2 rounds, because we could probably get like Xalfiz and Kestra, then come back and get Graham, if that works for everyone.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah, so I would like to do that to get us as high up the stairs or to wherever there seems to be a landing, and go from there, I guess.
Okay, so you turn into a giant eagle, do you say?
Yeah.
And the other 2 hop on your back and you begin to fly upwards, and you immediately notice a change in temperature. Like Icewind Dale is cold. Like, anyone who's not wearing cold weather clothing immediately has to make like survival rolls, otherwise they freeze to death. This is a whole other level of cold, and if you weren't dressed warmly, you would die very, very quickly. As you kind of fly up above these steps, these enormous carved steps, you're having to put in extra effort. Flying in cold air is difficult, and you circle above and you get higher and higher and higher, and you kind of drop down on this frozen pier, this enormous pier. It must be 100 foot long, and you can see that the whole island is cloaked in fog, and you all are finding it difficult to breathe. It's so cold, and you gaze out into the distance. Meanwhile, on the ship, there's another thud. You don't need to roll to hear this, Graham. Another thud from below. And then suddenly, the trapdoor, which was hidden in the ice, throws itself open, and a creature leaps out. It doesn't leap out. It crawls out, a rotting husk. An old sailor, his skin dropping off, his bones visible through the red cracks in his flesh, his eyes burning with a fiery cold light, one you've seen before. This is a servant of the Frost Maiden, a deadly cold light walker, and you immediately realize that as the eyes go brighter and brighter, they are going to be blinding in any second, and I need you to make me a saving throw. Let me just Google cold light walkers. Badass.
Always me left on my own. What is it? So I have to
What
do
are they called?
save?
Hang on.
Cold light waters.
Cold light walker.
Oh, and it's
Just everyone,
Googling.
look up the.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to do that? There's a Constitution save.
Okay.
They're so cool. They're a monster that's unique to
Seven.
the Frost Maiden.
I am rolling so poorly.
Oh no.
Let me guess, I'm dead, right?
You're just dead. No, you're completely blinded. There's this flash of light as its whole face turns into this burning intensity. You try and cover your eyes in time, but you can't. You feel yourself slipping across the slightly uneven frozen deck. Your eyes are blinded. You can't see. You're trying to blink away, but you can hear it thumping towards you. And it slams its fists down. It will roll with advantage because obviously
Can't see.
you cannot dodge. Oh gosh! Wow, I rolled a 3 and a 5. Well, that's not even going to.
Brilliant.
The deck cracks beneath it.
It is
So
a husk, yeah.
you're blinded, but you can still fight. The way that it works in D&D is you basically roll with disadvantage in your attacks. You know where it is. You know how to fight. You can draw your sword. You can battle this thing.
Yeah.
You'll be fighting at disadvantage.
Okay, so I guess I'll try and stab it with my rapier. Yeah, let's give that a go. And disadvantage means I'm just rolling it twice, right? And take the
Yeah, the worst roll.
worst roll. So 16 and 27.
Ooh.
Oh,
wow.
yeah,
So-
fair enough.
So you draw your rapier, and as you draw it, it just strikes straight into this undead creature, cutting through its skin. Your sword burns with this freezing intensity, which doesn't seem to harm it at all. So it's just your normal damage. No
Yeah.
sneak attack, no nothing else, unfortunately.
So 1d8 plus 4. Come on, damage. 7.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you
Did it,
cut
boys.
into it. Well, you think you do. Meanwhile, Gann, you are flying down and you see this creature staggering towards him, this sort of wreathed in this ice white intensity. It looks up at you as you circle towards it, and this ray of light, this beam of light, cuts through the darkness, striking towards you. It gets an attack roll. And it rolls a 2, so it misses. You easily dodge it.
Seeing this and would it be my turn now? I guess is the question. Yeah. Seeing this and recognizing that flashing light, Gann just goes right into a dive, like a nosedive straight towards the creature, and I want to try to knock it off the side of the boat into the slushy water.
Okay, give me so it would be an athletics roll.
Okay, so that's strength. That is the +3 for the bird.
I think because you're sort of tumbling down 50 foot, you've got a bit of momentum. You can roll with advantage.
Yes. All right, I got a. Oh, Jesus Christ! I got a 2. I got an 8 and a 2. So I got the highest roll I got is 11.
Okay, and it's got an 18.
Why did you roll 5 before you rolled that 18 now?
Oh, did I? Oh, if I right, sorry, I thought that was its last roll. No, we'll go with the 5. So what did you get? So you've done it.
11.
Crashed into it, and it spins into the darkened waters below and disappears with a splash.
Fantastic. I can't speak, so I just start cawing at Graham.
I want to hear it.
No.
Don't play it. What is it?
Nope. Not your sass.
Okay. And you are assuming you are willing to. You carry Graham up to the icy pier above, where the other two are shivering in the mist, which has gathered probably about a foot high at their feet, maybe a little lower.
After I get up there, I want to turn back into my normal form. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that, Graham.
Oh no, it's yeah, you know.
We, I guess, better get used to creatures like that being around, but
Not at all. If this goes well, right? We're gonna
I mean,
kill what's her face, and then gets warm and stuff.
hopefully.
Warmer. Yeah.
Now it's a case of we're here now. What do we do?
Yeah. What do we see around? We're up on the island now, right?
You're on the pier, so the whole island is cloaked in fog and shadow. Mm-hmm. The pier disappears 100 feet into the distance, where you can see the kind of mountainous island in the distance. But again, it's other than the pier right now, you don't see anything.
All right.
Sorry, what's that, Kestra? I think you're muted.
Is snow covered?
It is, yeah.
Can I have a look around before we start moving around too much further ahead? Are there any signs of Naz here? Because this is where Angajuk dropped her off as well, right?
He didn't actually say that. He just said he dropped her off.
She's going to work on the assumption that this might be where he dropped her off, if this is where he's brought us. But are there signs of Naz or other people having been here recently?
Well, you said you were pretty good at investigation. Do you want to give me one of those? Or a survival roll would be good. And I guess you're kind of like walking along this pier, unless you've said otherwise as you do this.
15.
Okay, so there are signs of something or someone traveling along here. There's tiny footprints in the snow, clawed footprints that remind you of a cat or a dog, but only it's bipedal, so just tiny little footprints. And it's small, like it would be that size. But the rest of the ice has not been disturbed for years.
Something's been here.
And the other thing, whatever this is, it was here like minutes ago. Like it even looks like it's stopped above where the boat is, and there's like a few kind of like footprints in a circle. It's looked down, and then it's like rushed off, following its footsteps back along.
What do you mean above where the boat is? Sorry, up the steps.
We're up on like the dock, for example, and looking down.
If you're on the pier, where you've landed is almost there's like a whole little patch of these little footprints, Then there's
Okay.
footprints leading up to that patch, then footprints leading back. Like whatever this thing is, had walked up, looked down, and then walked back.
Before we do anything, I think it's pertinent that I do this, and I take a handful of snow. And
There we
cast Ash
go.
without a trace.
Everybody drink.
I regret doing that now.
How many characters get that? Only 3 characters get it.
No, everyone around me.
Oh, cool.
So you get plus 10 to stealth?
Plus 10 to stealth, yeah. For everyone.
Okay. You're muted again, Fee. Oh, sorry.
oh,
Oh, you might just be lagging.
I think, yeah, it might just be my microphone being weird.
Plus 10 to stealth.
These footprints, do I have any reason to suspect that they might belong to something that I am familiar with? I don't know how to phrase this without,
Oh
no,
boy.
so
because I know somebody who has creatures. Do these
So-
look like?
they'd be far too big, far too small for that. But
Okay.
I think possibly Xalfiz and Kestra just with your Xalfiz with your arcane tradition and Kestra because you do have an infernal leaning being a tiefling. These could be things that you'd know. So if you want to give me a natural world roll or arcana roll, you definitely could see if you could.
That's for both of us, is it?
Yeah. You both can see if you
I'll go
this.
for Arcana.
And assuming nature is a natural world, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I'll go nature, seeing as I got a 25. 20 plus 5.
So you
Nice.
think this might be an ice memphit? They're like tiny infernal beings, similar to an imp or a quasit. You know, these sort of smaller infernal beings, bat-winged, tend to sort of not be massively dangerous to powerful heroes such as yourselves, although they have a mischievous streak in them.
So
Shall
I'm
we
going to really ask the team. What did you say called was? A nice method.
Memphit.
Memphit.
I believe this is the markings of an ice memphit and something that sounds like a croissant. You know, they're very similar. I don't know what word you said the second word. Like, that's close enough. But yeah, so I'm just going to basically just highlight
Quasit.
to the team, like, look, this is... It might be working with Ariel. It might just be a pain in their arse. It might be more of a problem kind of thing. Highlight that to meta
You know-
somewhat.
You know what they look like? Look in
Nope.
the background of Owen's picture.
Ah, cool.
One
He
behind
did like
you.
he didn't know.
Hold up. That guy? No,
No.
other side. That guy.
The other side.
Can I
That
call out
guy.
to it? I want to press the stupid button. Can I call out to it? I can speak Infernal.
Yeah, you'd have to. I mean, right now all you can see is the kind of icy waste ahead of you. Like, there's no sign of it. It just disappears along the pier.
Gonna just call out, not too loudly, but it looks like you said it's been here in the last few minutes, so I think she's gonna call out
Oh yeah.
loud enough that if it's within kind of eyesight but hidden away, it might hear, and call out in Infernal. Show yourself, you little devil, but like in a really playful tone, because she knows that they like their tricks.
Do you want to give me a persuade roll?
I'm hoping that it's not working.
Or
Uh,
if you'd prefer, intimidate would work too.
So Xalfiz knows what's happening and is going to say, like, just kind of encouraging, like, great idea for a flash of genius, which is a +5 to whatever you're on the roll.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go for persuasion.
I don't think it is a great
She's
idea,
not trying
but-
to scare it. She's trying to see if she can kind of goad it out because she's speaking Infernal, seeing if it will do like the that's unusual, and see if it'll poke its head out. So 16 total.
So you've definitely persuaded it. So about 20 foot ahead of you, two little blue lights appear at ground level, and you realize their eyes. This creature had been hiding in a small snowdrift, and you probably would never have seen it in any other way. It'd been walking back in its footsteps and dived into this drift, waiting for you to pass. And now you see them, these two specks of blue. Maybe, 20 foot ahead.
Over there, do you see it?
What is it? Is that a Memphit?
What is that?
Hello. And she kind of talks to it to see if she can coax it to say anything back.
What language are you using?
Infernal.
So you see the kind of the snow shuffle, and you maybe see the tips of wings as potentially preparing itself to fly off, but also still interested, or at least it's not moving yet. And again, I assume you've still got this distance.
I'll start approaching it.
Yeah.
It's not
Get the
moving,
net.
and occasionally it blinks. So every step it blinks, and you think maybe, for a second it's gone. Then it opens its eyes again, and you're closer. You're just 10 foot away now, and you can see the shape of it now. And you would never have seen this if you hadn't have pursued the way that you have. But it's staring at you, unsure perhaps of how to proceed.
Waiting for Graham to chuck a spear at it.
I was thinking about it, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. We're having a moment, right? This is like.
Myself and Karen the same instinct.
So I'm like, don't do it. It's fine.
In Infernal, I think she's gonna, as she gets closer to it, she's gonna kind of crouch down a bit and make herself a bit less intimidating. I don't want to hurt you. Why don't you come out? My friends won't hurt you either.
We
We don't understand
up.
this.
No, don't worry. Do
Meanwhile, we've taken out weapons and we're all like this.
No.
So, this bat-like creature stands up on spindly legs, ice white, long bat wings, spreads out, curling around itself, and it stares up to you with its frozen blue eyes and says, so I hadn't prepared a voice for this because I wasn't sure if you're going to find it.
She'll put her arm out for it as well, like you would with a falcon if it wants to, like, cling on to something.
And it looks at you and goes,
Are you here to pay subservience to Auriel?
Perhaps. Are you one of her servants?
Well, I suppose so, yes.
Have you seen anyone else come through here? We're looking for somebody, a friend of ours.
You have a really annoying voice.
Really annoying voice, very rude.
She's not round here. She landed on the north of the island. She was very, very cold. She didn't really prepare properly. She's still there.
Oh, God.
Oh. I see. She hasn't caused any trouble, has she?
No, she's dead. She's frozen solid.
Well,
No, that's a problem solved.
Interesting.
We can leave.
That's rough.
Her little weasel's still alive, though. Little frozen, like white weasel thing, just circles round and round, trying to wake her up. Sort of sad, really, if you kind of find that sort of thing sad. I think it's quite funny, to be honest. I've been there maybe
None of us can
yesterday.
understand this but Kestra, right?
Kestra is
no,
Kestra kind of giggle.
it sounds awful. It almost
Jarring
it
to the ears.
hurts. These
I imagine that
Yeah.
Infernal sounds like that horror,
Death
like
metal.
the crackling of fire, but not the nice, relaxing kind. The
Like listening to
Inferno about
Dutch.
to kill you kind.
sure, it's just get some.
It's very phlegmy.
Yeah, just. What's the name?
That note.
Species in
That
Red
note.
Dwarf, the Gelfs. It's like the Gelfish.
Sorry, what did you say, Kestra? I missed you.
Perhaps take us to her. She was a friend of ours, and well, partly I think she's an idiot, and I would quite like to laugh at her for her misfortune.
It is very funny, to be honest. She's got her arms like reaching up. She's, yes.
Could you show me? I would love to see it. This is her poor misfortune. One day I'll conjure her back with a necromancer and laugh at her for it, but she also had some stuff of ours. And as you can imagine, creatures like us don't like have things stolen from them.
I suppose so, yes. Well, would you like a tour? I could probably show you through the island.
That would
There's some very fascinating rocks along the way.
perhaps speak common, my friend. My friends don't speak our superior tongue.
He sort of his eyes go dark for a second, and you kind of get the idea he's rolling them we sort of discussed. He's going,
Yes, of course.
Well, I can translate if you'd prefer not to have to speak that wretched language.
Whatever you want.
I think I've lost the voice. I started off quite well. I'm not sure what it is now.
She will offer it her arm, so he doesn't have to flap around if she wants. She'll try and flatter it in that I'll carry you if that's what you want. But otherwise, she'll turn back and go, "We have ourselves another tour guide
Nice.
Oh,
to show us round before we give tribute to Oriel.
Ah, yes, of course. His tributes.
Our friend didn't prepare for the cold and is lying as a frozen corpse on the other side of the island."
how far is that?
He replies in Infernal and said,
Tell the big stupid one.
He
It's
laughs.
probably depends how fast you move, but you can't fly, can you? So maybe 2 hours. Depends if you'd like to see some sights. If you've come here to pay homage to Oriel, you might want to see her frozen garden.
Well, perhaps you could take us to our friend first, and then we don't have to worry about the stuff we need to recover, and then you can show us around any of the places you think we might enjoy. A couple of hours trek towards where she is.
he smiles mischievously and says,
It's on the way.
The name.
My name. You can call me.
he sort of thinks for a bit and sort of goes,
Well, if you want a human name, you can call me Jeremy.
She'll say Jeremy, but in a infernal tongue. Well, if we don't tell the others what your name is, we can have that joke between us.
Okay.
You all hear them laugh really evilly, like it's awful.
She's laughing too. She's gonna find this quite funny.
And I guess that there may be this sort of moment as Kestra's a little far away, and I mean she does have this sort of demonic red form with these horns. She's laughing quite evilly with a demon or a devil.
But she turns back with like the biggest smile. Well, whenever you're ready, I suppose we can go.
Mhm.
And like the picture of innocence in that moment when she turns back to you, like the devilish grin is gone. She's speaking common again with that really mum-sounding voice.
Well, let's get moving then.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like
he
a
says
plan.
in common,
This way. You should go first, big one. You want to move some of the snow. We're not going to follow the beaten track.
Oh, okay. And I'll take the front.
so he leaps off your arm, Kestra, and begins to flap these enormous bat wings. I'd say enormous, like he's about the size of a cat. But the wings are big enough to hold his form, and he sort of flaps over your head, Gann. And the pier ends in an icy road or path, cobbled in enormous flags. But he doesn't follow that, which twists between huge rises of snowbanks. He leads you up to the left.
Follow me. This is the fastest way if you wish to see your stupid friend. Come on, stupid man.
I'm getting extremely strong Gollum and Shelob vibes right here.
Twisting stair, then the winding stair. Come on.
Let's go. Yeah. I follow along. I'm Gonn's just holding his, like he's biting his tongue because this creature just keeps on calling him stupid.
Kestra's giving you that look of like, just don't say anything. Just
Yeah. I'm
go
just
with
like,
it.
okay.
Okay, so he leads you through the snowbanks, and despite your winter clothes, you feel yourselves getting colder and colder and colder. And I need all of you, despite your winter clothes, to make me a DC 10 Constitution save. If you fail, let me know.
Okay.
It's now a good time to point out I have nothing in Constitution.
Oh god.
Possibly. So hold up, Raymond rolls.
Actually, I think I can do this after they roll, so I can decide if I want to do Flash Inspiration or not.
I have a thing as well after
Okay.
I roll if I need
Yeah.
to. Let's see.
Okay.
I rolled a 3.
Oh god.
That's a
Oh,
2
you're
plus 1.
You're on your own,
I-
Kuran.
Wait, what did I roll? Oh, I rolled a 10. I'm good.
Good. Did anyone else fail? Or was it just Kuran?
Mine doesn't.
Wait,
seem to
did
be
you roll a
rolling, it's
d20? I thought we're
thinking
supposed to. Oh, as in we have to roll a. I rolled a d20. I was supposed to roll a d. I
You rolled a
d10.
d10. You have to
Sorry,
roll a
yeah.
d20.
Yeah, it
I
was-
got a
You
16,
gotta
so
get
I
above
passed.
10.
Ah, okay. I made a mistake. There you go. I did just as poorly. I rolled a 6.
Flash of
I think-
Genius. I rolled a 16. A Flash of Genius for Graham gets us all over.
Oh, okay.
Just do your coat up, Kuran. For God's sake.
Yeah, come
Hey, you're the one with
Pull
the
your hood
biggest
up.
coat out of all of us. Like,
But I
See
wanted
those
to.
earmuffs? They don't go around your neck to look cool. They go on your ears.
Sorry, guys.
Tell my son's exactly the same thing.
One of us spits into a handkerchief and cleans his cheek while we're at it.
oh, little Graham.
Fat
Your
hobbits.
friend, she didn't put her up either when she came to a, I would say, a sticky end, but it's quite a hard end, to be honest. Hard and cold and blue.
She's stuck, isn't she?
Anyway, this way.
So he leads you down between two huge snowdrifts, which could, I suppose, between the cleft between two hills, and it opens up into something incredible, something dreadful and incredible, but a garden of sorts, disappearing through the mist and fog for as far as you can see. Creatures, people, plants, all made of ice. Close to you is a tree only found south of Waterdeep, but every part of it carved or created in the most beautiful detail of ice. Everything you can see, a deer, a little rabbit, a person kneeling down in agony, its arms reached up, tears pouring down its face, all captured in gorgeous and terrible ice.
Here you go. Warrior's Garden. It's beautiful, isn't it? I come here sometimes to relax.
It is.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Look at this person here. She's really caught the agony, hasn't she? The despair. Look, look, look.
And he sort of brings his hand, almost touching, but not quite.
You can see here. Look, look.
It's fascinating. It is. It's some craftsmanship. Who made these?
Oh, Oriel, it's one of her pastimes. She likes to, what's the word? I don't know, keep things as they are. She likes things to stay.
Like things to
Serve.
endure or to preserve them?
No, it's like capturing a moment, forcing something into the most terrible agony and then keeping it there forever.
Cool.
Delightful.
Beautiful, it makes my heart break. She's done such a lovely job.
Well, thank you for showing us this. Could we
He just sounds like a regular art critic, this guy.
could we maybe continue on to our friend if possible?
Yeah, we want to see more local agony that we can relate to of our friends.
Oh,
Definitely in agony.
of course, of
Don't
course, of
laugh
course.
at this agony. This agony we can just appreciate, but our friend who was ill prepared, that is something we can laugh at.
Yeah, the comedic agony.
The best
I-
kind.
I have to say I quite like all of you. Not many mortals appreciate eternal agony the way that you four of you seem to.
Well, we put ourselves through it every day, so
Kestra and Inferno will just be like, well, I'm not an ordinary mortal. I think I'm rubbing off on them.
Oh, and he sort of goes, yes, sort of,
Come on then, let's go.
Feeling he's gonna go cobalt on us in a minute. Is it?
He flaps off into the darkness ahead, and eventually you are. I think actually there was a map that was going to show you that picture, but I'm going to hide it now because you eventually do see the cliffs ahead, and you realize you've reached the other side of the island.
Here you go. If you look ahead, you can see her.
And you see what he's pointing out, a hand reaching out from the snow, frozen solid and black, and in its hand is clutching an orb, frozen glow, pearlescent in colour, if that's a thing. And there's a little thing moving around, a mouse or a ferret or something.
No sign of any books or anything, no?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eoghan, you have a great record with orbs, so experience, it's invaluable. You should use that orb.
I mean, I was going to use the original one anyway.
Codicle of White, isn't it?
The Codicle
No
of White
sign
is
of
a
that.
book. Yeah, that's the Professor orb, though.
Yeah, Gann would like to approach the corpse and try to take the orb out of the hand.
So you rip the orb out of the broken or the frozen fingers, and the fingers just break away, and you are holding the Professor orb. It basically looks like a giant pearl, or maybe like I don't know if you've seen those black pearls.
Disney made 4 movies out of it, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm holding a boat.
I've never seen a black pearl. There is actually such a thing.
Yeah, I used to live in Japan, and Ishigaki-jima, which is an island in the far south of Okinawa, they sell black pearls. I thought, I'll just buy one of them as a nice souvenir. Nope, they're really expensive. I got laughed out of the shop. Pretty much.
Yeah, now that I have it, I'd like to maybe if we have somewhere we can shelter before we go to pay a tribute to
Or somewhere that's
Oriel.
wide, open, flat, and he can stand the other end of the field. Like, it's one of the two.
While they're looking at this, can I dig around the rest of the corpse? I want to uncover the snow and see what else she has on it. And Kestra will make a point of kind of laughing at Naz's misfortune to appease the little infernal ice creature.
So you kind of like scrape away, and it is difficult because layers and layers over the past few days have gathered up, and as they've gathered up they've turned to ice, but you can scrape away, and maybe using a cantrip or two to kind of melt away the harder bits, and you do find this bespeckled youngish female wizard dressed in robes, completely inappropriate, probably fine for 10 towns, although even then maybe a bit light, frozen in a picture of agony.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. Oriel should take this and turn this into a statue for her garden.
She probably will in time.
Parts.
No, she has a different garden for the fools who come here. Adventurers and explorers and pirates and smugglers and scoundrels and all sorts of people. They're over there.
And she sort of
Those
gestures
stupid mortals
somewhere.
who don't pay tribute, I assume.
Exactly. They're being eaten alive by those horrible Yeti things.
Yeti?
Well, should I say
Excuse
alive?
me?
No, dead, very dead. I misspoke. Eaten, dead.
Okay.
I think this is all infernal.
Does she have any pouches on her, any other luggage or belongings that I can root through?
Ooh, give me an investigation roll.
Loot the body.
She'll make a point about talking about looting the body with the ice method, being like, well, you know, if she's stupid enough to get herself killed, I guess all of this stuff is mine now.
Nice.
That's really, really good. Okay, so 16 plus, what do you have?
+5, so
Plus
21.
5 is 21. Okay, so ye dig through her things and you find her spell book, which, although is written in some sort of arcane code, does seem to contain all the spells that Nas did know. You also find 2 items of more interest. One is a wand. The other is a scroll written on a kind of like, looks like vellum, but it's darker. You're not sure what skin it was, but it's certainly not goat. But it does seem to be a spell scroll, but not one you immediately recognize.
Don't know if she can, Kestra probably can't identify the wand, but I think she'll maybe unfurl the scroll and have a go at seeing if she can, if it's written in some kind of arcane language that she can try to understand.
Yeah, give me a arcana roll, sorry.
I think she'll hand off the wand to somebody else, maybe calling Xalfiz over and going, this seems like your kind of thing. And she just kind of gingerly waves it about and tries to pass it off to somebody with a bit more experience.
Be careful with that. They're very fragile.
24 for the arcana check.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. Okay, so it's a scroll of haste.
Well, a scroll of haste, not that it did her much good by the time she got here. She'll kind of roll it back up. Useful for anybody?
And Xalfiz will also, while this is happening, examine the wand, I reckon.
Yeah,
Okay.
scroll of haste could
I became Australian, sorry.
come in useful.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you can use it as a rogue. I'll have to...
No,
Are you an arcane trickster? You can if you're an arcane trickster.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I don't think you'll be able
I'm
to
an
use
actor.
I pretend I know about it.
Exactly.
I mean, I
These
can always keep
scrolls.
hold of it if need be. But the wand, definitely not my thing.
With the wand, I'm going to roll Arcana and get 12 plus 5 is 17.
it. Oh, nice. Okay, so this is a wand of animate dead.
Oh my god, my Christmases have all come at once.
Oh no.
It has many practical applications. I have so many things that they could help me with. So, just so we're clear, I should read the instruction manual that comes with this one. What exactly does Animate Dead do?
So it casts animate dead. The wand has an X amount of charges. So if you want, give me a D10 plus 4. That's how many charges it has.
Okay.
Ooh, hello. 8. I'll take 8.
8. So it's 8 charges. It basically casts the 3rd level spell animate dead.
Lovely.
Nice.
As someone who's never used that spell, I'll read it at some point after this. They don't have the knowledge if they come back from the dead, do they? That they previously had?
I'd have to look up the spell myself, but I think it's for making like zombies and skeletons.
That's what I
I
saw as
can
well.
look it up
Oh, yeah.
while we're
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I'm really worried about crashing myself again after the last time. Everything's breaking when I touch computers this week, so I'm like, I'm fine. I'll figure it out. So yeah, like the main thing is I don't think I can use it on Nas and get any information off her. Basically.
Oh no. You could
resurrect her and take her as tribute.
Yeah, but would Oriole appreciate us resurrecting someone who's already died on her land?
If it's to cause her more agony, perhaps.
Potentially, yeah.
I think I'm good.
Not a bad shout.
So did you say, Gann, you'd taken the orb?
Yeah. While everyone's looting the corpses and whatnot, I'd like to, be investigating the orb, trying to attune to it.
So as soon as you try and reach out your mind to it, it immediately talks back in a garbled tongue. Do you say you speak Elvish?
What do I speak?
Would you speak Laura?
I do have Elvish. I have Common, Druidic, Elvish, Giant, Primordial.
So it basically says something to you, and you don't understand anything at all. It's a language that doesn't even you've never even heard in all your travels, and then it kind of says something else, and it says,
Oh, hello. Can you understand me this? I'm speaking Elvish now. Can you understand Elvish?
Yes. I kind of look around at
Thank
my
God. I
party.
thought I was going to
I'm
be
just
left here
like,
forever. I mean, I think you're going to spend eternity on this bloody place. But anyway, come on. We need to go. Can't stay here forever. Chop, chop.
Who are you? What are we doing?
Well, I'm the professor, of course. I live inside this orb. I think that's the word that you would probably use.
in Elvish, it's like kind of learned teacher, or
Anyway, I believe, were you working for Lass or Nas, or was it Grigor or someone else?
Yeah, we were working with them. What exactly was Nas doing before she...
That's a shame. Okay, well, anyway, if you're one of his... Okay. Well, she was heading to Oriel's castle thing, fortress in the middle of the island, trying to get hold of the Conical of White, of course, break open the Reghed Glacier and get me home.
Okay. Will this codicle of white help us stop Oriel's curse on the
Of
land?
course, idiot. That's what it's for.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's not what it's for, of course. I mean, it does lots of things. Is it?
And it's
What
here?
we're going to use it for. Of course it is.
Okay,
This is
well,
Oriel's most holy book.
can the others hear, or am I the only one that can hear the orb?
You're the only one that can hear it.
Okay. Well, I guess let us know where we need to go, and we'll get this codicle of white.
Okay, that way. Oh god, I haven't got any hand, haven't I? Okay, you see that sort of tree thing? That way.
Okay. Everyone, this orb, there's a voice, and I put it in my pocket so that I'm not physically touching it and hoping it will kind of like stop it, at least hearing what I'm saying to my friends. This orb is talking to me. It says that there's the codicle of white is here. And
Kestra's giving you the look of like the ice nymph. Just
Yeah.
panic.
Gann stops and is like,
Look, a bear.
what?
Has it noticed has it noticed that the codicle's been mentioned?
Yeah, it's staring at you, Gann, interestedly.
I think in order to pay tribute to, I think that the Frost Maiden would appreciate this, and I take out the orb again, and then I put it back in my pocket so it won't start talking to me. I think she'll appreciate this as a gift if we give it to her to pay tribute. Should we start moving towards where we might find Oriel? I kind of look up at the benefit. Could you lead us? Could you bring us?
He sort of looks at you and squints. You're not really sure what that squint means.
Of course, I can take you there if that's where you want to go. Pay tribute.
You can show us a garden along the way if you want.
Well, we've seen the garden now.
Novelty's dead.
I'll take you to Grim Skull. It's time to pay tribute.
We could be He-Man. Grayskull reference. No one. It's me.
You could give me a was
Perception?
it? No, the sense motive. What's sense motive in 5?
Insight.
Insight.
Insight. I get +5 to that. I will happily do that.
I get nothing. I'm not doing it.
+5.
Are you sure
13
you're really?
+5. I got an 18.
Nice.
He doesn't seem to be being very friendly. And
Anymore.
you're not sure if he is really on your side anymore.
He goes, come on, let's go. This is the quickest way.
And he
When-
leads you
When
in
he
a
turns it
different-
back to us, can I
leads you
kind
in
of
a
like
different direction to the tree?
yes, as he's
Tree's
like
there, he's going there.
as his back is turned away from us, can I kind of like look at the others and be like,
Yeah, and then without even thinking, I just chuck a harpoon in its back.
I would also
Oh,
like to.
I like
I'd like
that
to. I would
Gann
like
did
to.
the thing.
Kestra
He said to
is
get.
following. I don't think Kestra's even seeing this go on. She is following with the ice method.
I-
She's trying
I
to
smack
keep
it.
up the act.
I hit it with the staff of withering that I have.
Okay. Well, this will be a surprise round. So I think Graham's
Yeah.
going to go first with his
I was
improved
gonna-
initiative.
I'll yeah.
It's forward.
You get to roll with advantage to hit,
Okay. So
and you do get sneak attack because it's a surprise round.
okay.
Yeah,
So I'll
I should
use
roll
the
it.
Frostbrand rapier then, I guess.
Against the ice devil.
So well, it doesn't do extra, but whatever. So I know you said advantage, but I'm pretty sure 22 hits, right?
20.
Hold up. Roll your second one. Roll your second one in case you crit. You still roll it just in case
Yeah,
you
you
crit.
might
Okay.
get correct.
You didn't.
No. I
I'm
didn't.
sickened. It would have been so cool if you had if I called it.
Okay, right. So then, yeah, I do 1d8 plus 4 and
Plus your 4d6
Yeah.
as well.
plus 46. Yeah. So-
Rogues are so silly.
Did you always play a rogue?
Yeah, they're silly. I am also a silly man. I'm wearing a. Just
So that was 20 damage.
Wow. Okay. How do you kill him? What does it look like?
I just poke him in the back. He's so small and fragile. He just kind of falls down.
Shatters.
Just poke him. That's it. And he falls. That's it.
He was nice. I feel bad.
Yeah.
He was leading us in the wrong
Freaks
direction.
Kestra out because she's trying to walk with it to keep up the act and doesn't see this coming, and this thing just shatters beside her. She's,
It's an enormous harpoon just flies over.
oh,
Yeah.
God. Well, he's gonna have a really bad time in the River Styx.
We had
Warning?
he.
Next time, please. She's like
Sorry,
trying to
Kestra.
dust off this ice that's like landed on her shoulder.
Well, Gann gave the signal, so I was just like, doing my job or whatever. I was just.
Wait.
Oh, he was
Xalfiz
100% going
oblivious.
to betray us anyway. There was
He
no way
was.
that
He.
creature was.
The voice in the orb told us to follow, and I point towards the tree, that direction. I don't know where he was leading us, but it wasn't the same way.
We have a signal.
Primal
Yeah.
creatures can't trust
Xalfiz, it's this. God does the running a finger across the throat.
That signal means kill the thing, whatever
I
it
you
is.
had an itchy neck.
No.
All
But
the hair. It seems itchy.
Let's be practical.
It's very practical.
okay. So, as I was saying before I realized the Memphis was still here, the codicle of white
Back to a chat with Norb.
should be here, and that seems to be the way that we can break the curse that the Frost Maiden has given to the land. Done to the land, whatever. Should we get moving?
Hold
Just
on.
a pre-warning, that thing did tell me that there is a whole place full of dead bodies being eaten by yetis, so that's another thing we might have to contend with. And
That's
if there's one of
possibly
those
where.
things, there's going to be a lot of them.
Cool.
Well, good thing we're not dead because they mightn't like us.
Ever the optimist self is.
Well, hold on. Just on this whole the orb told me things like, how does the orb know that the codicle is here? Has it seen it?
Let me find out. I'll take out the orb.
Hold on a moment. Your call to Gann is quite valuable, and
So-
he'll be with you in a moment.
As you touch onto it again, it's just,
And then you want to turn left and then probably up this place and then
you realise he's been talking the entire time.
Sorry, I put you in my pocket and I wasn't listening to what you were saying.
you put me in your pocket. You realise who I am?
No, you didn't tell me. You just said you're the professor.
For God's sake. Okay, well, fine. Okay, we'll start again. Okay, we start at the tree, and then you want to be going pretty much straight on
How-
until you come to...
How do you know the codicle is here?
Well, what do you mean, how do I know? You thought you said you're friends with Nas and Grigor.
Yes.
Well, then you should know.
Well, they didn't give me all the details. We came here to try to rescue Nas, but
Oh.
she was already dead.
Feels like in the last 2,000 years. Okay, fine. Right, well, Grigor and Nas, they captured one of the druids, one of the worshippers of Oriel. Oh, I'm in your head, aren't you? Never mind. Anyway, and they tortured her and, cut bits off until she told them everything they needed to know. Codicle of White, a holy book stored inside the dungeon of the old ice giant fortress, which Oriel now uses as lair. Hidden behind... Well, I mean, you have to be a worshipper of Oriel, of course, if you want to get to her most secret parts and things. So, you need to go through the challenges, or at least one of the challenges of Oriel.
What are the challenges?
Well, I mean, we're going to find out when we get there, but it's probably going to be along the lines of her portfolio, isn't it? Cruelty and isolation and preservation and such endurance.
Okay. I'll be back to you in a minute. You're going back in the pocket.
Oh, just wait on it.
So, Grigor and Nas tortured one of Oriel's followers to get the information that the codicle is here.
Okay.
And they just told the orb because, cool, hey orb, show us where the island is because we're looking for this.
The orb seems to have someone's mind inside of it, and
Whose
was
mind?
working.
What's
I
her
don't
name?
know. It didn't tell me. It just said the professor. But it's who Nas and Grigor were working with in order to find their way here. Apparently,
Was it Jean? It's not like because so when I say that, like I'm trying to see if Gann remembers because he'd know Jean's voice from the prison, right?
who?
Or from the Lost Tower. Jean, the
Who's
wizard
Jean?
guy.
Oh, Zan.
Jean.
No, it wasn't. No, it's not Zan. It's not Zan, is it, Joe?
It's not that. Wait a second, I don't know that. Okay,
No,
that's fair enough.
this voice belongs to someone or something older. It mentioned millennia, 2,000 years, or something like that. I don't know who or what it is, but it's old, and it seems to know what it's talking about.
Can I take a flick through that spell book to see if Naz wrote anything else down, aside from perhaps what spells she has in there? If she made notes or anything that references the orb that might give us some context for it?
Yeah, give me an investigation roll.
I just typed investigation in Roll20. That's not how that works.
Did it work?
11, but I'm going to use, I have Dark One's own luck, so I can basically call on my patron to add a d10 to my roll. So 14 total.
So you're kind of flicking through, and it does indeed seem to be a spell book, but there are notes in the margins, and you kind of go through them, and most of them do seem to be kind of like how to cast it. Like make sure you turn your hand this way. It's Leviosa for this one.
Kind of necromantic magic, like necromancy magic. Is that what most spells
Yes,
in here
very
are?
much so. Yeah. But when you kind of get to the back, it's what she seems to be using as more kind of her own notes, and there do seem to be some things that relate to your current situation. You're kind of scanning through. It depends how long you want to spend decoding them, but in the sort of few minutes that you're kind of scanning through, you do see hints to the Codicle of White, and you do see reference to some challenges, including ones for the portfolio, and cruelty has been like double underlined.
I mean, Kestra, if we're kind of moving off, Kestra will try and decode and read through these notes as we're walking with the group. She'll just kind of center herself in the middle so that she can't get left behind and just read as she walks. If there's anything useful in there, we'll call it out to people as she finds it. But she'll tell everybody, like, there's stuff in here about these tests.
So the other bits, again, you're kind of all walking along, and it's going to take a while to be walking through here. So while you're kind of doing this, could I get everyone to make me a Constitution save and let me know if you get below 10?
Okay.
And again, I have 3 inspirations of rub your hands together, it makes it warmer.
Yeah. Put your scarf on.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
17.
I got a 15.
Whoa.
Can't roll 4,
Sorry.
that doesn't...
That's just not how you do that. Whoops. So anyway, I got 11.
Okay,
So-
so it looks like everyone's passed.
Yeah.
It is icy cold, and you actually feel the kind of ice forming on any exposed skin, and you kind of like bundle yourself up a little bit more, make sure your gloves are on tight, do up those zips and things, make sure you really are bundled up, because it is the coldest you have ever been, and you realise that even succeeding with these constitution saves, even bundled up as you are, you will not survive long on this island. But you do find something, Kestra. You find reference to the Auriel's blessing. It appears from what the druid, the cultist, the follower of Auriel, told Nas before they died. Once you've passed the tests, you will be offered Auriel's blessing. And if you can survive the blessing, and she doesn't seem to be sure what that means, you will be given a lot of power, including complete immunity to the cold. But it does look very dangerous if you fail. But this is separate to the tests. This is after the tests.
So she'll read that and kind of she's kind of murmuring like the lines out loud. It's like test blessing. Oh. Well, I've got some good news. I know how we can definitely not freeze to death on this island. She's got that face on that says like this isn't really good news.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, all we have to do is survive whatever horrendous tests Oriel has planned that's related to the portfolio stuff, and then you get something called Oriel's Blessing, which if you survive that, whatever that means, it makes you entirely impervious to the effects.
Well, I mean, if you're dead, you'd be impervious to it. That's
Yeah, the
It also
definition of
mentions
death.
having power, so I don't think that this is Oriel's Blessing is turning you into an ice cube for your troubles, but
But an effort, maybe.
She has a garden that says otherwise.
Yeah.
that garden
Maybe they're
isn't
the
made of
people who failed.
though. There's no flesh in that garden. It's all ice. The method said that the bodies of the people that come here that don't pass, they go somewhere else. That garden is just her weird indie art project.
She's a teenager. It all makes sense.
This is just her angsty years.
Yeah.
I
All she needs is
get
a
the
Green Day t-shirt
feeling
and she gets through it.
that if we want to get the codicle, and it's hidden away in the depths of whatever hell this place is, maybe we're going to have to go through these tests or get that blessing.
maybe the orb could tell me about the tests. Excuse me, God was yawning.
Thinking about the blessing, maybe it knows what it is, but I'm thinking that maybe we are going to have to pay some tribute and perhaps play along. It seems that the people that come here who don't end well.
Okay.
And as you say that, the fog in front of you clears and you see rising before you a 600-foot tall mountain of glacial ice, its peak carved to resemble a gigantic skull wearing a crown. And weaving up the mountain's southern slope are enormous stairs hewn from ice. These steps, which extend from the base of the mountain to the base of the fortress, were clearly made for giants. And I think that's where we're going to leave it there, although there's one more scene that I'd like to do. In another time, in another place, sometime in the last few hours, we're going to pan the camera away from the group to where Kestra has taken a moment on her own. She's maybe ducked behind a tree or lagged behind everyone as they march through the wilderness to take out, well, Kestra, what have you done? What have you taken out?
I'd like to think that maybe this isn't the ice garden when everyone was stopped looking around. She's kind of ducked away behind a bigger ice sculpture, feigning as if she's looking for something. And she's wearing on a necklace this stone that's wrapped in this kind of iron banding. And she pulls the stone from kind of beneath these heavy Windsor cloaks and holds it in her hand. Are you there?
It's about time you checked in, Kestra. I thought maybe you disappeared with your new companions.
You hired me, and as long as you pay me, the job gets done. That's how I work.
Well, I'll pay you if you give me the information I require.
We reached the island.
That's good.
Currently, we're looking for someone called Naz.
Oh, that foolish girl. Of
Apparently
course it
she's
would be
dead.
her. Oh, good.
Showed up
She
not
is.
prepared for the cold.
She had, I don't know if you ever met her, she had the most annoying voice.
No, but I have heard that from one infernal creature and a talking narwhal, so it must be true.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a good job. Check in when you've managed to find the Codicol or the Professor Orb.
Well,
I'll
that's
let you
the
know.
thing.
Go Go on.
That's what we're looking for. I thought that they had it and then it exploded and Naz had left it. So I think it's with her. I'm hoping that when we get there, it'll be in her belongings, but we'll have to see. But I'll let them continue with it.
They seem like a capable bunch. I wouldn't have thought they would have managed to find their way to the Isle of Solstice so quickly. Well done, Kestra. You stay with them, earn their trust, befriend them, or at least pretend to, and then give me what I pay for, and you will be justly rewarded.
The codical.
All I care about is the entrance to the lost city of Netheril. If the codical's the way to do it, you can leave it with them. Get them to open the gateway. It'll be easier.
Oh, well, I'm not doing it.
And I think that is where we will end tonight's episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And thank you, all of you, for playing. It's been an absolute pleasure tonight. And we will be back next week to find out exactly what happens as they enter Oriel's abode and beyond. My name is Joe True. If you can find more of me at HWR Podcast on Twitter, and I've got my own account, which is at Joe the GM, and you can find all our episodes of Rime of the Frost Maiden, Curse of Strahd, and numerous Call of Cthulhu adventures, and our long-running Call of Cthulhu campaign as you head to Serpent on howwerollpodcast.com. Owen, thank you so much for playing and listening. We'll do our end of game show very soon, but before we do that, how can people find more of you?
People can find more of me all over the internet at How We Roll Own. If you're listening on podcast, Own is EOGHAN. I'm on Twitch and Twitter, that handle. I'm also in our Discord, and there's a Roll Discord, How We Roll Discord. Pretty much any How We Roll Own you find is me. I may be a little quiet for a couple of weeks while I'm trying to fix my new computer up, or old computer up, or whatever I need to do. But if you find me anywhere on the internet, send me a message if you want to ask me or give out about how I play.
Nice. Niall, again, absolute pleasure to play you tonight. How can people find more of you?
People can find me on the How We Roll Discord, on the Does It Roll Discord, and I also have a at HWR Podcast Niall Twitter account that, yeah.
And every Sunday here, being gone,
and every Sunday here,
without trace.
transforming into animals.
And Kuran, again, a pleasure to play with you. How can people find more of you?
I think you can find me on Twitter at Kuran_J. That's KURAN_J. Or you can find me on the Does It Roll or How We Roll Discords. Or here
and
on
of course
Sundays.
playing Ethan on Two-Headed Serpent.
That is true, yeah. I'm going to play the Ethan South African big game hunter, and he likes to get up to shenanigans with Charles, you know. Just pew pew pew.
And our last player tonight, again, thank you so much, Virginia, for joining us again. It's great to have you back, and you fit in perfectly with the group.
Thank you for having me back. I really like Kestra as a character, so I'm glad. And there's stuff going on, and I'm invested. And I also want to see what these terrible trials have got to bring. You can find me on Twitter at TabletopPod. I think there's a name somewhere down here. And on Twitch under the same name. I play video games. If you want to see me get sassy about The Walking Dead, I play that on Mondays.
Nice. And I've checked out your stream a few times. It's fantastic. I recommend it to all. And last but by no means least, Aram, are you able to talk to people?
I am able to talk.
Woo. Fantastic. How can people find more of your stuff?
Take your shoes.
What have we got coming up?
Well, you can find everything.
Obviously, we need to share.
Yeah. Well, you can find everything I do at Vardian. And also, I think what Joe is talking about is that I'm currently working on a Star Trek series called Star Trek Mississippi that happens 3 years after the events of the Next Generation, where warp speeds are a problem because they've been damaging the fabric of space, and Starfleet has had to basically change their whole plan, stop relying on these big, huge ships that can cover vast distances and focus on small crews and smaller ships. So our team is one of those crews. They'll be young cadets in their final exam, graded and judged by an emergency medical hologram. And they will be aboard a small runabout ship called the Mississippi. That'll be starting as soon as we wrap up Rime of the Frost Maiden, and will run for 6 weeks.
Really, really looking forward to that. It looks so cool.
Looks awesome.
Yeah.
And that is us done for tonight. So over to Owen for our end of show.
And okay, guys,
giveaways and things.
We'll end with a giveaway. Actually, we'll do a giveaway now because a couple people are saying they need to go to bed. So quickly, if you want to enter the giveaway, type I love DIR, all capital letters, and we'll quickly do a giveaway. It's for a copy of the Rime module adventure on D&D Beyond. What do they refer to it as? I always unsure. Is it a book? Is it a module?
Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign.
Campaign. There you go. So we have 4 people entered, I think. We'll give it a minute, and while we do that, I'm going to get Joe to quickly talk about. This is basically an episode just for Joe to flex all of his NPC voices. I think it might be a record for the most NPC voices you've done, Joe.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were new as well. Like when he started talking to the imps, I hadn't even considered.
I'm so sorry. I thought
No, don't. I love it.
Like, I want to make friends.
I think this is going to be one of my new favorite voices.
I also want to find out next time. I'm going to try and ask and figure out what the orb can speak, because I've got like 4 or 5 languages I can speak. It's like he clearly can speak at least 3 languages from what we learned, because you said
you speak Undercommon. No,
yeah. Just going to start talking in all my languages. You know, my name is Xalfiz. Can you show me to the library? Because that's the first thing you learn in every language class.
Just realized I could have made that easier because I have comprehend languages. I could have just cast it on somebody.
I did wonder if you'd taken that warlock thing, which allows you to read everything. Because I was thinking, if I put in a whole load of stuff, am I going to have to have it read out?
That skill is too good to not take.
So quickly, we're going to get through this giveaway, and then we can move on to questions and fun, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So on 3, 2, 1, the winner this week is Shalista, who is a girlfriend of a guy I game with, actually. So
nice.
I'll get congratulations if you're still there, Shalista. We'll be sending you on.
Shalsita, isn't it? Shalsita.
Shalsita, even. That's right. Close enough. I will send you on the code later on this evening after the show wraps up, and you can claim that from dndbeyond.com. And thank you again for them for sponsoring us. We should probably say that more often.
Yes. You are correct.
Shalista would be like if Aquaman had a cousin, right? And she'd be like, Shalista.
Look, it's a well-established thing for anyone who games with me. Kuran and Niall can vouch for this. If there's a character in a game, like you're getting attacked by someone, I'll just say, take the first letter of a character that's attacking me and name any other character with the same first letter. I never get it right. Like it's like this weird glitch in my brain. Be calling out tactical stuff in games like, who are you talking about? What's happening? This is not at all what's happening. It's close enough. I got the shell.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was we're finally at the Isle of the Frost Maiden. I'm expecting to die any minute. Did you expect us to get there as quick or as safely, Joe, to start off? I guess because there was a little bit of hassle.
I think I said it. I may have said it at the beginning of the recording. This is slightly different now. So rather than being like every Sunday we're going to do a whole story with a beginning, middle, and end, we're much more in traditional D&D, and you'll get as far as you'll get. And I'll still try and keep cliffhangers and still try and keep arcs within each recording, but there's much less like push on me to try and end quickly or push you from location to location. So I actually had no idea where you get to tonight, but I think it was quite fun.
Did we get as far as you thought we would, or?
I think I'd prepared more, but I really didn't know how far you'd get because
what he's saying is we basically did nothing.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like,
I had prepared more.
The whale was going to look at 3 more things.
Yeah.
Well, when he said you're going to Brinshander, and then it's like, that's all on fire. Figure out what you want to do. I was like, well, do we just go straight to the island? That feels like we're skipping something. It feels like there's something in the middle I'm missing. I don't know if like, you guys felt the same.
Yeah.
What about you, Niall?
I mean, the only thing that we really needed there was to talk to Valen, but Valen could be a crater in the ground for all we know right now. So I was okay with moving towards the island.
I guess on that note, we've got our handy dandy good friend and guide in no way dodgy character, Kestra, to help us.
Dodgy? I don't know what you're talking about. I warned you about a terrible fire. And got us a free tour guide.
Did we check if it was on fire? Is the town actually on fire? Actually?
Not all of Brinshander, just where she was.
No, it was her house. It was her house.
You're calling her dodgy. She's not the one that stabbed someone in the back that she was having a casual conversation with.
I got us a tour guide.
Who stabbed who in the back?
I didn't even know the secret murder signal, in my defense.
Who stabbed it? We stabbed an imp that was going to try to kill us.
It's a method. How dare you? That's disrespect.
It's a method.
You thought
Owen, what's a
the
method?
was going to try
It's a
and kill
method,
you.
Niall.
You thought
Sorry,
the
you-
method. You
I
had no
think
real
I
proof.
befriended it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had no real proof. All the method had done was take you on a tour of a really creepy garden. I'm not sure if that merited a harpoon in the back.
He was leading us in the wrong direction, and my inside told me that he was up to shenanigans.
He was more helpful than the narwhal was.
No way.
So you talk
But you
bad
got to
about
see a flat
Angadoo
rock.
and his flat rock. So
Yeah. Don't
rocks
you
are pretty
dare shit
I
talk
wanted to see
Angadoo.
more rocks.
I will
I'm
listen to
so
that narwhal talk about his rocks and his fish all day.
Oh, I would have sat
Boring,
with that
the
wheel
boring
forever.
underwater city that no one gives a shit about. You
I
know?
know.
If we-
No, I
if
would
we
have
ever
whatever
big
the
enough-
whale wanted to do. If that whale wanted to count types of seaweed, I would have hung out for hours. I was fascinated.
It feels
Although,
like it's gonna be a
like-
headspace meditation. Is that whale giving you a tour of the ocean?
So nobody actually like really betrayed the ice bat thing. I mean, it was just really Niall, and then Niall was like, "You want to?" And then I'm like,
Yeah, I was like,
it was. I was like, I've been waiting to kill this thing since the beginning, so I don't know what. Like, it
You two
literally.
boys
I
are
think,
like
I
Tom
think
Cruise and Collateral. I didn't kill him. The fall killed him.
I don't know. I think Owen called it straight away when we were having the whole thing. I was like, "Don't kill him. Hold on."
yeah, I was waiting for you to
whole
throw the
time.
harpoon.
Yeah, the whole time I was just thinking, I'm like, I just want to, because it's taking so long to get to it. I'm like,
If Joe had said he was made of ice, I was going to use shatter. I was like, shatter's perfect here. I was like, if he said ice, it's happening. And then I can see Kern, and Kern's like, I'm gonna do it.
Virginia's there making friends, and all of us are like, "What's the best way to murder this creature?"
Yeah, he was just like, how do we kill it? And I'm like, oh, another infernal thing. You're like me. Let's laugh at people's misfortunes together.
Yeah,
Totally trustfully, just like you.
I was
other thing-
growing
She
attached to him
didn't
for a
trust
minute.
that thing. It was totally going to try and kill everybody, but maybe not her. So, you know.
I also really loved when Kestra code switched between when she was talking to the demon and when she's talking to like everyone else, right? She had like a totally different, a framing there. It was excellent.
Very friendly and nice to us, but with the thing, she's like, "Fucking stupid creatures. Look at them. They're useless. Walking skin bags."
The one thing I've noticed, every time I think someone might be, maybe not good, but like maybe they've got a common goal and they want to stop the Ice Maiden, like they might be able to help us out or something might go our way. It's like, no, they're also an evil wizard. Am I the only person who's like completely misjudging situations? I felt like
Yeah,
Ness, not gonna head the same direction as us, but like we both need the same thing to happen here. And no, obviously not.
If for Nash, it was like, "Oh, she's done something bad." Oh, wait, no, they kidnapped someone and tortured. They cut them to pieces and tortured them. Pretty shitty person.
Yeah, like when the orb started going, I betrayed you, Grigor. I was like, oh, maybe she's not bad. It's like, and now I'm going to do all this evil stuff for myself. Oh, no, definitely not.
It's probably worth saying this is not how the campaign is written. People are much nicer in the campaign.
All right.
Oh, so
That
it's you
makes
that
sense.
hates us, not the campaign.
Nas
No
is
one
like
died this round.
delightful in the campaign. She's
No,
Yeah,
poor
sorry.
Nash.
Also, I just couldn't remember her name, so the only way I could describe her was I said her voice was annoying. I think her voice was that annoying, but all of a sudden now it's the worst voice in all of the Dale.
until you said that I'd done a really crap voice. I think she was going to be more of a thing, and I was like, I can't even remember what awful voice I did. Right.
yeah. You know, when you kept saying Nas, I kept thinking of the rapper Nas.
Regulate.
It's all like,
I was the same. I was going to make a regulate joke. I was like, will anyone get this?
no, probably not. I don't.
I'm so old.
Illmatic. And then when you were like describing that infernal sounded weird, I think I posted it in the chat. You know, the when they meet the Gelfs in or when Lister marries the Gelfs and he's like that's all I was thinking.
There's like three people who are going to get that.
Infernal only sounds nice if you speak infernal, or if that's like a thing that you
Yeah.
have. Otherwise, it's just like it's the worst sound in the
So it's like
world.
Dutch
just
then, yeah.
evil sounding.
Infernal is like an air horn. It's fun when you're doing it, but no one else enjoys it.
Or a vuvuzela,
Vuvuzela, yeah.
That is the best description of
Or those
Vuvuzela.
clapper things.
Yeah,
So-
this is so much fun.
I've taken notes during some of this, but I'm trying to. This is a question as much to piece it together for me for next time. Nas said she mentions the city, Neverez City or something, was it? Is that the same city
Netheril.
at the bottom of the ocean or no?
No.
No, so that's the city of Austria. I've probably got it wrong, but there's
Austria. is
I
what
heard you say
heard.
Austria. I was like,
I don't think, but the thing is, I read it because it's a word I've always seen written down, but I've never said it. And I said it, I was like, that can't be right. But it's something like, anyway, there was a realm of giants and dragons before humans and elves, and that kind of, in the first stage of the Forgotten Realms or something. So it's hard.
first stage of every fantasy world.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
no,
it's like-
so Netheril, they're people, I guess, and they took over the whole of the realms. They were very, very powerful. They managed to create level 10 magic, and they ended up in a battle with things called the Farim, which are these like funnel-shaped creatures from the Underdark who can they're basically immune to magic, and were destroying them. And the way the Netherese tried to defeat the Farim was one of them cast a spell to become the god of magic. So he destroyed Mistril, I think, which was the old god of magic.
Mistra.
She wasn't having it though.
No, it kind of basically ended up destroying the weave. So magic stopped working for the whole of the realms, and all the Netherese cities crashed. A few of them survived by jumping into the realm of shadow and becoming shadow sorcerers and things.
Episode 1 of God's Fall, basically.
Yeah,
Fun fact, the war
Not calling you out,
between-
Aram.
the war between the Netherese and the Farim is where the Drain Life spell came from.
yes,
The
and
Farim
there's
created the Drain Life spell to try and zap all of the wonderful lush green lands below and everything.
and created the
Anorak-
desert of
Anorak
Anorak
Desert,
or something
yeah.
like but that's all kind of
So not
interesting
the
things.
same
But
city then,
basically
no?
after that, but after that, the new goddess of magic basically capped all spells at level 9. So level 10 spells could never be created again. But there are still these things called Mythalar, which were created by the Netherese, which powered their cities and able to fly. And that's what you're searching for. You're searching for this Mythalar, which is in this city, which crashed into the ice, the Reghed Glacier. And if you get hold of that, you can do amazing things.
Cool.
My notes has a bunch of different things written down, and then one word that is circled a lot of times that is Sahooligans. And I'm like, why does my brain not like hearing this? It's just,
I think it's hilarious.
for whatever reason, I like every time you were saying it, I'm like Sahooligans.
To be honest, I'm just showing off that I know how it's pronounced. It's like when Arakocra, like it's a word that everyone's seen,
Yeah.
but has only recently learned how to say.
I also loved the tabaxi joke, which definitely went over Curran's head because he doesn't know that's a cat creature in D&D. When you made the taxi joke.
Actually.
Yeah, that was definitely worth inspiration.
That was great.
It's not often that I am on the end where I was like, I get this joke and the other person doesn't. So I saw Curran's face like, I'm normally in those shoes.
But we saw that several times when you were like, when the whale mentioned the rock, and in
I was
your
like, what the
head,
fuck
in
is
your
a
head, I
rock?
could just imagine like you're like
Rock
Rock?
Golem.
fighting whale, big rock hit whale. What?
Hold on. How is that mental in a word that has rock golems, it has fucking animated objects, it has mimics,
Because
like all this.
the rock in question has been mentioned several times already, like throughout our games.
Yeah,
that's
like-
probably fair.
It's been brought up.
Most episodes.
Yeah.
Once you say,
Joe,
do you remember
Joe,
that
yeah,
bird? I was
Joe's like,
hey,
the story opens with Ariel flying across the sky on her rock.
I'm not gonna lie, I definitely in that
Owen's
context would have thought
She's
100%.
surfing on her brick.
she's on a meteor. 100% that's what I thought at the time.
What?
I'm not a big fantasy guy. I play a small bit of D&D.
Because of me,
Ariel
because
flying
Comet is a
across the
rock.
sky.
You thought it was
How
a
again?
rock.
How is that more mental
You
than
thought
anything
that
else?
Joe,
She has a-
which is
she has a
colorful
big-
language,
she has a big cannon
was
on one side of the
referring to
Dale
a
that she
comet
just-
as a rock. She's on a
Joe.
chariot guided by her rock.
Hold up, Aram. To answer that question about referring to a comet as a rock, Joe just didn't know a word, so he
It's
called it
got two
Austria
words.
under
It's
the
got at
sea
least three
instead.
separate words, like comet, rock, asteroid. Like they could have said anything. It wasn't
Meteor.
rock, meteor.
There's plenty of names for birds, so I call it a rock.
It's like there's no longer is there meteor showers. There are rock showers that happen in the sky at night. You see that shooting rock that just shot through the sky? Make
Hold
a
on,
wish.
First of all, a star's made a guess.
Yeah, but
What are you
shooting
looking
star
at?
is not
Oh,
an actual
rocks.
star. Owen, Jesus.
Oh, I know.
Got my telescope out. Go spot some rocks.
Look, Mars is just the next best rock we can live on, okay?
I just like
There's
that
that
your
one that always
defense
comes
was-
by Earth. What the Haley's rock?
Haley's rock.
My defense was perfect, Karen, and you know it's a good logic.
I love the whole. I just play a bit of D&D. No.
I like.
My
What-
defense was.
What was
there's so
your
many other
idea of
words.
how Oreo got there in the first? Like, did she
She's like,
does she have a
"I'm not
cannon
big
that
into fantasy. I just
shoots a
play-
rock across the dale?
Well, look,
She's like,
she's
Sham.
magic.
Xalfiz refers to all birds as just different size, stones.
Stones,
like
pebbles.
some are pebbles, some are boulders. Yeah.
Chips.
Well, you're like, there's
boulders.
other names for comets. There's other names for birds as well. It could have been a fucking pelican, a pigeon. It could have been. You see?
She's not, but a pigeon. she
Clearly,
couldn't-
just a large boulder the size of a small boulder.
I would have paid good money though for Ariel just to be carried across the skies in the mouth of a giant pelican.
when
just
Niall explained what a
casting
rock
snow
was,
to
and he
the
goes,
side.
mentioned several times. I went back to episode 1 and was like, oh, this image is a lot less. This image is a lot less cooler than what I had. I had it like surfing some sort of comet thing. Like, that's badass. Now she just controls a bird like Gandalf and every other wizard that she does.
Maybe in our campaign it should be canon that she has a magic rock.
Can we just replace? Can we use all the stats for the
My
bird?
face hurts
But can we
from
just
that.
make it be a gigantic rock? Just a big boulder with the face on it.
It's a
know,
pet
and-
rock.
and,
It's
you
literally
know,
from the 80s.
Like,
And Owen has a
Kool-Aid guy.
It's the way
Owen
Owen
has
loves
a
it.
point. She's only across the sky in a magical chariot drugged by birds, casting a permanent winter across all of the north. That's just not cool enough. It's just not quite
There was
as
nothing about it.
good
There was no
as a
chariot
meteor would
mentioned.
have been.
There was
It's
one
not
bird
cool, but
mentioned.
it's not as cool as a rock.
Boy, that's one fine looking rock.
Yeah, it's like,
Let's get
it's
this
just
back
what,
in-
though?
Let's get this shit show back on track before we end it. So, going back to my notes, I've kind of 4 key things that probably are going to work out well for us, written down in
Fighting the boulder.
cruelty, isolation, preservation, endurance, and then ... cruelty, NB, because that's basically what the notes was. How's that going to go for us, lads? Do you reckon?
Well, if we let Kuran do the trial of cruelty, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, sure.
I can see Graham not really caring. Well, I guess, you know what? Kestra seems to be up to shenanigans. Not that we know that, but
I don't know what you're talking about. There are no shenanigans. Clearly, just talking to my son. Clearly. Mother.
He's at college. He's.
I'm glad you
Do you
did that
reckon-
at the end though,
Yeah.
because whenever I do that southern, southern North
Drawl.
American accent, that ruins every other accent I can do.
The
for
Lucas Mackey
everything
effect.
else has that in it. Yeah,
Like, I'm also a necromancer now, which we didn't talk about either, which is great.
you can.
animate
of-
dead.
8 little buddies to carry me around on a little gold throne, which is
Oh
all I'm
no,
going to use
I
it for.
shouldn't have given you that one.
Are you
Oh,
gonna
we'll
like,
be used
just-
for anything practical now.
God
do you mean?
forbid,
You're- how
Xalfiz
could
the
it not be
practical
used?
uses something for something practical.
No, I gotta get like literally zombies to carry me around like one of those old like Egyptian kings on a gold throne.
Like Asterix, you get a shield.
No, I'm trying to think of what's the bad guy from 300. I think his
Perseus.
name. Perseus.
No, is it Perseus?
No, I don't think it is.
No,
The
Someone's
fancy
Googled it.
chairs that people have to carry,
Yeah.
like coffins. Yeah.
Xerxes.
Xerxes, there you go. I imagine Xalfiz looks the same as him, just smaller.
Yeah, you're very
That's
similar
the-
to him.
I didn't write much else in my notes other than give Karen kudos for not jumping on the Dugan's Hole joke. Because Joe kept saying, and when you looked into Dugan's Hole, you didn't pull anything out of Dugan's Hole. And me and Karen were looking at the camera going,
And I knew he was doing it on purpose.
I don't know if he was. Were you?
no,
Like
definitely not.
Dugan's hole is tattered and damaged.
Dugan's Hole got blasted to oblivion.
The best line was, "What did you glean from Dugan's Hole?" You didn't glean much from Dugan's Hole. I was like, "Man, this is good."
This is gold.
Other people don't find this funny, but I don't know. My childhood, I don't know. My childishness just comes out with the Dugan's hole.
I was there
Dugan's
going,
Hole.
I was going to make a joke, and me and Karen both went to make a joke at the same time. We both stopped and went,
No, I saw it. We were just like, I just decided to mute myself and have my laugh without
We'll give you-
interrupting anything.
I will give you the line of the episode and teach a whale to fish, which is simple and silly, and it got me.
It's what you did.
That got me as
really
well.
good.
It was like, you like squid? I'll teach you how to get the squid.
I mean, it worked.
It did. I liked
What
it
I was
also.
going for was like, yeah, you mean you could get the squid, or we could find out how to get the squid to go to you. You know, we could just figure out how to make that happen for you.
And
I
then
think
Gann just,
whales want to be as lazy as people, right? Why
Gann just
not?
taunts them with 2 pirate entrees. So normally I end these Q&As with, so where do you think your character, well, I say normally, I did it last time, that was a really good question, so it's now a regular thing. Where do you think your character's going to go from this? But I don't think you can probably tell us, can't you?
I mean, she wants to make sure nobody dies. She's quite fond of all of you. I mean, she wouldn't have bothered to try and find you and, you know, take on the job to warn you if she was just like, let them die, you know. So she enjoys the company. She wants to see what's going on. She's hoping that if she makes any more infernal friends, they're not going to get stabbed in the back. But
Shanked.
if you could not,
But then people got to be careful to not use the signals. You want to keep things.
Yeah, whatever you do.
You use the signal, something's gonna
We're
die.
gonna be back in Bryn Shander, and Gonn's gonna just scratch his neck, and Kuran's gonna stab someone.
Sharking people.
You know, I'm hoping that we can get through the trials, and because I'm not a fan of this. Kestra doesn't like this endless winter. She
No
likes
one does.
warm and fire. So you know, the quicker we can just get rid of that, the happier she'll be.
And if Aga's gone, or Anga's gone, we can open up a tour.
Oh my god,
Tour
we can
company with-
monetize Marmaduke.
Yeah, I'm so upset I ruined that joke as well. I'm so upset I ruined Marmaduke. I was so excited for it. I was sitting on it for 10 minutes and I ruined it.
Get on the hustle culture with the narwhal.
And actually, another great line was Joe going, "Is it a pet? I guess it's not really a pet. What's it called?" Well, it's Anga's. So Angaduke. I was like, "This is a fucking pet. It's the exact same name." I think that's all the questions I have. Is there any other players or Joe wants to ask or know about? Or Aram?
Yeah, I have one. This big, huge talking whale appears, right? And it's magical and mystical and amazing. And it says,
You just jump on.
and it says I was attacked by a rock and it ripped into my back. And you look at its back, and you see these giant scars on its back. And then it's like, I have an 8-hour journey to go somewhere, so get on. And Gann, you didn't fucking heal the whale. You had 8 hours to get all your magic back. You're looking at these giant scars on happy, nice whale here, and you just left it. It's like, oh, wow, that looks terrible.
Actually,
and you just
it
kept
actually-
on going.
I thought about it and I was going to do it, and then it completely slipped my mind.
8 hours.
Probably-
8
I
you know
hours.
what?
Healing magic.
You know what?
Poor whale swimming
I
through
got
like,
distracted
ow, oh,
by
my
the
back.
flat rock. Okay. Also, he
fucking
didn't bring it
hours.
up again. He didn't ask for any healing.
No, because
Mid-fight,
because he like has pride, but like you saw how wounded he was.
He was fine.
He's got pride, man.
I blame that entirely on the druid. I have no healing magic.
Yeah.
I totally could have healed him. I just forgot to.
Fight when
The
Gann got hit with
druid,
the arrow.
who's
I
really
was like,
in connection with animals, didn't heal the whale.
I got distracted by a sultry voice.
Niall's entranced by Scotsman, apparently.
He's Welsh. He's a whale. He speaks.
Was that Welsh?
It's meant to be
No.
Welsh.
No, it wasn't Welsh, Joe. You were going
Scottish.
great. It was a
If
perfect
you wanted
Scottish.
him to be Welsh, then he should have talked.
You
like
should edit that out of the
In the
podcast.
valley. You like
Yeah.
the Welsh.
He's like, I'll try to take you to the ice
Joe's
place or
actually, that's-
whatever.
That's not true,
Joe's
because at one
defense
point...
of that accent, a friend of mine who was watching at the time the whale was on was like, "Oh, a Welsh whale and Frost Maiden." So
There
the
you
whale
go.
Nice.
came
There you
across.
go.
Vindication.
Actually, at one point I was going to make, does this whale have a nephew called, or a niece called Stacey? So he must have at some point hit Welsh, but he got into Scottish for a finish, definitely.
Welsh,
So-
Scottish,
I suppose
Irish,
it was Welsh. It wasn't comically Welsh, maybe.
There you go. Yeah, I lived in Wales for 3 years. That's where I went to uni in Wales.
You were.
It doesn't mean you can do a Welsh accent.
You drank with me most weekends in Manchester for 2 years. You can't do Irish.
Well, I've been told I'm not allowed to do Irish. There's a difference.
No, you're barred from that, yeah.
Yeah. You haven't been letting the country since.
Apparently, it's too racist or something.
Well, we have a small following from Ireland. We used to have a big following from Ireland, but then that. I think that's everything from us, guys. So I'm going to let everyone sign off. I'll start off with our.
No, let's not do a full sign. We've done the full sign off again. Unless you want.
Check me out how we roll.
Yeah.
At least let V, who's wasted 3 hours of her life with us, promo her crap.
Crap, wow, Owen.
I mean, he's not far off.
Sorry, V. Sorry.
No, you're really not far off. All I do is get sassy on Twitch about the zombie apocalypse on Mondays, and sometimes I play games on a Friday. And you know, the really cool bit is I make TTRPGs for a living. So there's that, but
quite cool.
that's it.
It wasn't an insult. It was
a lot
branding.
of emailing people.
In my defense and her defense, I do spend a lot of time in her Twitch chat 'cause it's very, very entertaining.
Yeah, I was watching you
absolutely.
play.
Dad jokes.
I was watching you play the Walking Dead the other day, and I was enjoying it, but I was working at the same time, so I had to jump out.
Yeah, I just get sassy about it. It's just me mostly deciding who lives and who dies based on the decisions that they make.
It sounds like the last 3 hours you've done in the game. It sounds like one of us is going to be killed.
Apparently, Gonn's the one who decides lives or dies.
I guess that's it from us, guys. Check me out how we roll on. Don't mind the other 4 guys. I don't know. We have to sign off. This is really weird.
Well,
Joe.
we're doing it now.
I don't
yeah.
do my hands.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Queen's wave.